Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. You know the drill. You smash the like, you sub to Mayo Media Network, and if you need Cust Corner in your life, a Cust Corner only feed, you can go hit that down in the description for podcast only. Catch up on all of your favorites because this is the 6th annual Custy Awards. You people out there voted in all the categories. This year we got over 25,000 votes in the Custy Awards, which is absolutely insane. And we have to bring in the panel. First up, joining us via satellite, it is Garion Thorne. You're back again for the Custy Awards.
Hard to believe. It's hard to believe it is year 6 of the Custy Awards. Pretty sure we're more popular than the Grammys at this point. You love to see it. All the votes, all the people, no bots, probably. We'll maybe get into that later, but happy to be here as always.
So, again, if you missed the Custy's pregame show that I did with Kenny Kim and Aaron Bronstetter, that is up on the Pat Mayo Experience feed right now and up on Mayo Media Network if you want to get a sense of what is coming in these categories. But I think it's time to bring him in right now, the man of the hour, the two people who are fighting for all of the major awards at this year's Custies. It is Tim Andercust!
Tim Andercust.
That's not my name.
Jeff's here too in studio.
I'm now nervous to lose in Tim's presence.
Why do you think we flew you in?
Based on how he reacted, well, now I'm really nervous. Based on how he reacted last year until you had to do a recount without the bots, I could have just turned off my computer and left the room, but I don't know what's going to happen. There could be a bottle of Dom Perignon ready to be
This is
dumped
like
on
a
his
live
head
tour
or
event, and
something.
if I win, I'm spraying you with champagne afterwards.
Please
I
don't.
thought you meant this is like a live tour event in that it doesn't matter in the real world at all.
25,000 people voted. That's more than who are
Watching Live?
Championship Sunday.
Watching the live tour? Yeah.
And people can only vote once from one email address. There could be people Tim could have hired because of last year's kerfuffle, where the same email address kept voting over and over. He probably just paid off all the different people to use different email addresses.
It's called having a super fan.
Well, you're trying to rig the vote.
I didn't do anything.
Well, let's get into the awards. Gary, is there any award besides Most Insane that you're really looking forward to?
I mean, not especially. I think they're all great. I kind of love that I've mostly forgotten what the categories are and what's up for nomination because it'll just hit me fresh. I would like to use this time to once again make a plea. We should bring back Least Insane Person, which I believe I won several years in a row. Or at least name the award after me. I would just like some recognition. Here I am asking for recognition on Tim's show. But I would like some recognition for not being insane like Tim.
Well, that is in the vein of Tim demanding credit for something. Well, we could rename it the Garion Thorne Memorial Least Insane Person Award.
It can have that photo of Gary looking really sad on it.
Well, I think my favorite picture of Gary, and I don't know if I can still find it, I had to give him my suit jacket once when we were in studio, and he looked like a coked-out movie executive from the 80s.
No,
it was amazing.
The best photo of Garion is the screenshot of him sitting outside the recording
At the
studio.
glass.
Yeah, in the glass with the rain pouring in and his microphone catching it all.
That show is lost to time.
But it's not lost to the hearts of those who watched and remember.
No, but I legitimately cannot get the footage
Yeah,
from it
that's-
anymore. It has been wiped off
It's like
the
the
internet.
Pac-Man Jones NFL draft video.
I will find that one day.
Yeah.
And it's funny because memory, you don't know how memory works, right? That might not have actually happened
It did
at
happen.
this point.
It did happen, though.
Yeah, but we remember it happening, but did it really happen? Who can now?
Are you saying you've been incepted?
Potentially. Maybe I thought I saw it. I was pretty drunk when I was watching it. Maybe I thought that I saw it, and all these years later, it's now just fact in my head. I don't know.
Can I say I'm most excited for Jeff's biggest rival? I think that's the second best category on the show now, and that people do get excited for, and that those of us who are chronicling throughout the year the various candidates are very excited to see how the people weigh in.
People do chronicle it, and I hope maybe once you start being a part of the network for a certain amount of years, I think you got to be eligible for this award, and hopefully with Cam and Rob,
I've long supported that.
Expanding
Cam,
their roles.
Bring them in the most insane vote.
No, Pizzola could have his biggest rival category. I'm not trying to take I guess I'm trying to take some heat off me, but maybe in the future that could be shared because I've seen him go off online and from landladies to everyone else who interacts with Cam, I think he's got rivals as well.
Or Cam's greatest friend, which is whichever Kramer character.
Yeah, but is it Visine Vince or Portuguese Joe?
Or what's the name of his superintendent that he can't stand?
I don't know. He has Barb the condo
That's it,
manager.
Barb. That's who it is.
I don't think that's one of his friends.
No, that's a rival, though. But
Sure,
yes.
he's got tons of that, and he hides keys all over Toronto in case he loses one of them. He knows the spots around the city.
Just like when
you can go
Kramer
his
was
keys.
hiding that key all around Jerry's apartment.
All right, let's get into the awards. First up, we'll start slow on this one. It is most Andercurse miscellaneous sports. So, Brazil. Tim picked Brazil to win the 2022 World Cup and claimed, quote, nobody was picking them, despite them being the tournament favorite. And 6 of the 12 Fox Sports experts who ran the tournament picked Brazil to win. Brazil lost in the quarterfinals to Croatia. And we talked about Croatia at the time. You didn't want to play them.
Or Serbia.
Yeah. They'll beat the shit out of you. Notre Dame, a frequent member of most Andercurse sporting lists. And Tim's own and Garion's own Notre Dame. Tim said Notre Dame was vastly superior to Oklahoma State prior to their matchup in the Fiesta Bowl. Garion, do you remember what happened?
Yeah, there was about I think it was a 24-point comeback at halftime, maybe a 28-point comeback at halftime, something like that.
They lost. Brian Flores. Tim said Brian Flores should win Coach of the Year after 2021. He was fired at the end of the season. The Dolphins lost draft picks, and he sued the NFL.
I don't even remember that. But he's a great hire for the Texans, and I think he's going to do a great job
Vikings?
there.
Yeah, he's hired by the Vikings.
He's on the Vikings.
Vikings as a DC. He's going to do a great job there.
Kentucky. Tim selected Kentucky to make the Final Four in 2022. They lost in the opening round to 15-seed St. Peter's. That one seems
That's
like
nothing compared to next year.
Yeah, the next year's Custies are going to be even worse for this. Mito Pereira.
Oy.
Tim laid down a marker that Mito would win the 2022 PGA Championship going into the final round when he was up by 4 strokes in an anticlimactic finish. He did not win because he put it in the water on the 72nd hole and actually missed the playoff and ended up coming inside the top 4, but didn't make it to that playoff. The Rams.
Stewie blocked me for like 3 days when that happened. And it was the angriest he's ever been at me. Like, I felt awful that all this had happened. It's like, I don't control the outcome of golf events.
Yes, you do.
At what is
How do you not realize
allegedly
you
a
do at this
major,
point?
I don't have a control over this.
You do. Like, we're going through all the stuff that you control. Like, do you think the stuff just randomly happens? No. The Los Angeles Rams. Tim said there was no chance the Rams could lose on opening night of the NFL season because they were playing at home against the Bills. They lost by 21 points.
They did.
Had a disastrous season when they lost Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and many others, and were eliminated by playoff contention by Week 16. Scotty Scheffler, who I had money on in this. Tim said that Scheffler was killing it during the final round of the U.S. Open. He then bogeyed the 10th, 3-putted the 11th, and was never in contention again. Matthew Fitzpatrick won the 2022 baseball playoffs. Tim predicted the exact opposite of every round in the playoffs possible. His 2 World Series selections, the Blue Jays and Mets, his World Series again this year, by the way, were eliminated in the first round, while he selected the 2 eventual finalists, the Phillies and the Astros, to not win a round. Well, we were watching football week 1 in the studio in here, Tim. Evan McPherson, you said that he's as automatic as it gets before missing the extra point for the Bengals to win the game, and then they lost to the Steelers in overtime, and the Tennessee Titans were picked by you to win the Super Bowl. Not only did they miss the playoffs, they have now essentially blown up their entire team.
It took them 7 consecutive losses to miss the playoffs, too.
And they did.
Yeah, they did. But
So, Geoff, what stands out to you from this mix?
It's not the first time in recent memory Tim has picked a team to win the Super Bowl, and it's resulted in that team getting blown up.
also picked teams to win the Super Bowl, and they've done it when you said it couldn't be done.
Fair.
This vote was 0.6 percentage points from first to second.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it seems wide open. It's a choose-your-own adventure. I mean, it's all, honestly, the category's so long, it kind of blurred away since you started.
The way you described it.
What was at the top?
Yeah, the baseball one should win
Yeah.
the way you described it, but I don't think it's going to win.
I can't remember. Did you tweet something during Game 2 of the Jays-Marlins series?
Mariners.
Like, did you tweet something when the Jays were up 8-1?
I think I did, yes. In fact, I know that I did.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Whatever, they're going to bounce back this year. They're going to be good.
So I think the baseball one for sheer hilarity should probably win. I just don't think people care enough about baseball. I feel like Mito probably did pretty well.
I agree.
I would also think just the sheer hilariousness of picking Brian Flores to win Coach of the Year and then everything that happened with Brian Flores after that point. I think that's probably pretty high up there too.
So number 3 I will give you on this list is Brazil with 13.8% of the vote. It was a worldwide audience.
Yeah, that was
We're dealing with your on the Mayo experience.
That's true.
That was a big day for the curse.
Especially after Argentina won, as the team that you picked could not win the tournament. Paul cashed in bigly.
Well, because then they lost to Saudi Arabia, and I was like, this is done for. And I was basically dancing on their grave. And then they got real lucky to win in the final.
Is that why you support Liv now?
I don't support Liv. Let's make that
Because
clear.
they beat Argentina,
It's
so
just,
you're all in on
it
Saudi
happens
Arabia?
to be really compelling tour golf. That's all.
So it came down to Mito Pereira and the baseball
Yeah,
players.
that's fair.
Were the two that stood out, with 25% of the vote, and the winner of the first Custy of the 6th annual Custy, the 2022 Major League Baseball playoffs.
Wow.
Hey.
The voters got it right. I have to give them that.
Props to the
That's
audience.
the way you should vote, based on that litany of disastrous predictions. That was the worst of the bunch.
Mito Pereira, 24.4% of the vote this time around. Most Andercurse non-sports. This is a fun category. I think there's 2 very heavy contenders for this one. Angela
Oh
Lansbury.
no! Oh no! Oh no!
Tim mentioned Murder, She Wrote as an example of a, quote, mystery solver during the Week 6 NFL Pick Show. Angela Lansbury, the lead actress in Murder, She Wrote, died during the recording of the show.
That's just terrible timing. That's not my fault. She was also quite elderly.
Does that make a difference?
Which is why you should have been more careful.
Yeah.
But like, I picked up Mel Brooks's book and read it, and he's fine.
Oh, well, okay, we're pre-taping this, but everyone keep note.
Yeah, if Mel Brooks is dead between now and the 2 weeks from now this show gets released, you know what happened. How old is Mel Brooks? Like 100?
95. And he's still sharp as a whip.
Could you stop talking about poor Mel Brooks?
Okay, fine.
He did just direct a movie.
Yeah, he's great.
Love him.
Young Frankenstein.
Meatloaf.
Oh,
Tim
right.
listened to a variety of Meatloaf songs and called Meatloaf, quote, one of the most underrated artists ever.
I stand by that. He is.
Well,
Or
not
was.
anymore. He died the next day.
Yes, but he was one of the most underrated musicians
This is
of our
a
time.
tissues category.
Now he's one of the musicians most 6 feet under.
Oh, Garion.
Gary, forget the darkness. I like it. Republicans. Tim predicted the red wave to sweep in during the U.S. midterm elections. That did not happen, did it?
I got half it right. They won the House, but they did not succeed in the Senate.
Halifax parking. Tim said that parking was not expensive enough in the city, and effort should be made to make them higher priced. The next day, all the meters malfunctioned and parking was free in the city.
I don't even know what to say.
That was an example of you using your powers for good, by the way. Pele. Tim continuously backed Brazil at the World Cup, resulting in Pele's death.
I think that's a tangential one. That's a bank shot. That's a bank shot. That doesn't belong on here. He was also elderly.
Would it surprise you that there was an overwhelming favorite in this
No,
category?
it's obvious who is going to have to win this category. But, again, that's not my fault. Don't blame me.
This is a historically proud category.
It is. This is.
It's a big one.
I was gonna say this is like I'm always shocked we do this one so early in the show because it's such a banger, and this is why we always end up spending like 4 hours on these shows because we get so far behind on this category because it's ridiculous and it's always stacked and it's always incredibly stupid.
Well, this year it does seem like there was a very clear favorite, which normally there isn't.
No, the year that he got the poor radio hosts here fired.
That might be the #1 Custy's moment of all time.
I didn't get them fired. I was a big fan of
Their
theirs.
station got canceled.
Yes, it did. And that was like, that made me sad.
And they were Jeremy's friends.
They were, and that's how I caught up with like pop cultural music by listening to like the pop music of the day, like that the people are listening to.
Oh God, calm down.
Pele came in third place with 11.4% of the vote.
Really?
What did you think was going to come in third?
Wow.
I don't know, just not that. I thought Tim was somewhat accurate in his assessment of Pele. One's it's a little
Low hanging
out there,
fruit.
but
That was low hanging fruit.
I feel like this is indicative of what's about to happen, which is people just like when Tim kills somebody.
Hey,
Number 2, Meatloaf. 17.5% of the vote. And with 60% of the vote, not the highest vote getter of any of the Custies this year, but Angela Lansbury is the runaway winner of most Andercurse non-sports for 2022.
I have nothing to apologize for. I mean,
Is it because she's dead?
no, I just mentioned it randomly on a show. We were talking about like Columbo and various other like crime solvers. And I mentioned Angela Lansbury, and anyway,
Yeah, talking.
You know who's super, super lucky and probably will never even realize it? Is Rick Moranis. Because he only got punched in the face. He didn't die.
oh, I forgot about.
He could be dead right
I forgot about Rick Moranis being accosted in the street after I mentioned his commercial. Oh my goodness! Again, I take no responsibility. These are just awful coincidences.
Do you think that if you did start to take responsibility, no one would ever die again? Because that's a possibility.
Be like like nobody ever.
Yeah. Like everyone would just live forever. You could be reverse Highlander.
There can only be everyone.
Yeah, everyone just lives forever.
This category, I guess, is consistently death or assault, like Mr. Moranis, or people losing their livelihoods, like getting fired and their station going under.
You find that funny, do you?
I think the parking one is super underrated.
You should also specify that not just human death, also horse death.
Yes, horse death, very much. I mean, but that usually counts in sports because they're great athletes,
That's
right?
true.
They are athletes. They should be getting medals at the Olympics when they win their events, and they should be allowed to march in the Parade of Nations.
They would shit everywhere.
They'd be fine.
They would not.
You
be
have a
fine.
little
Do you know how often horses shit?
You have a little chauffeur walk with the horse and clean it up as the mess
There's
happens.
not a whole lot of space inside these stadiums.
You
anyway
make it
for all-
happen so the horses can be there. They deserve their moment. They know it's a big moment. They know it's going to be special. Give them their moment in the sun, for heaven's sake.
He was. This horses at the opening ceremonies. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, they should. They're athletes. They should get the medals. They should stand on the podium when the anthems get played.
Oh, yeah, I bet you that would go well.
You could train them.
Would they have like the? Who was the guy in Rocky and Bullwinkle who came out to sweep after the parade?
Yeah,
during the
exactly.
interstitials?
They have that
You want one
guy.
of those guys following
Yeah.
every horse around?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a real good look for the Olympics.
I think it would be very charming.
Okay,
Tim's creating jobs.
that is true. What was your parking take? I don't even remember this.
Because there was no street side parking when I went to a concert and I had to park a distance away from where I was going. That people are parking way too close and the tickets are way too cheap and the parking is too affordable that I can't get close to the places I want to park. It should be substantial so that I can park in parking zones conveniently.
You're like my dad. No, like he's like there's just too much like if it's an hour line to get in a restaurant, he's like mad like too many people like can afford like there's too many people here.
Too many people.
That makes no sense.
It's inconvenient for me. Make it so that it's difficult, particularly when this comes to parking tickets. Make them really expensive so that people don't feel like they can just park illegally wherever they deem fit.
I mean, I do that.
This is a top 5 Tim Too Rich take.
No, obey the law.
No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying
Also, parking prices are too cheap.
make the parking so much so people can't afford to park.
Yeah, I can manage it, but other people might not be able to. I want to be able to. I go downtown so infrequently that I am okay with shelling out a lot more than I do already, just so I have a convenient parking spot.
What about the people who have to go every day? When they work down there.
There
and
are
have to-
lots of
What were you
parkades.
going downtown for? Why do you assume the people in the good spot aren't there for the same theater you are?
They're not down there for the same reason. They're down there all the time, no doubt. I go down very
Why? Like the
infrequently.
cars parked in those spots weren't
Maybe. I
nice
don't know.
enough
I don't know. I
for
don't know. I don't
that
know.
like specific show.
Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is I don't go down there very often. And so What would be most convenient for me personally would be that if you like quadrupled the cost of parking so that people would park farther away from the venues I want to go to, and I'll shell out that extra money to park closer to the venue so it's convenient for me. The city gets more tax revenue that way. Everybody's happy.
And
No, they get less tax revenue because less people would park.
No, they would still park, some of them.
and you're condoning that if you get a ticket for parking, it is so debilitating that it like will scare you from ever.
You should get a point on your license.
This take is so bad, Paul is plugging in a microphone so he can talk. Can we hear Tim, by the way? Like, because he's talking to like over here to Geoff and not into the microphone.
But this is not the directional mic, so it's okay.
It still helps when you talk directly into it. It's like Geoff should almost put his like this, like angled towards you because he's turning to talk to you a lot. Same as not that far. It still needs to be like directionally with your mouth. But you can turn yours a little bit this way because you're always speaking this way.
Yes.
So do that.
We can definitely hear Tim, but I have a question for him. Have you seen my baseball? I had to give him my headphones before because he couldn't figure out the...
No, that's I couldn't figure out. Is that the decibel level was like 3.
I mean,
It was working.
I'm
Till you
using the
cursed
same
it.
thing right now, and it worked perfectly.
Well, I guess I just don't have
Maybe you gotta...
the perfect hearing you must have, Paul.
Maybe you gotta clean those ears.
Yeah,
out
maybe
with that
I
now.
do. Maybe
You got
I'm not
waxy
blessed
ears?
with perfect hearing like Paul Shaughnessy.
You got waxy ears?
No, I don't think so.
Well, how would you know? Do you jam Q-tips into it, or do you go and get it like candled
I
up?
use Q-tips every day.
That's not good.
But as soon as I leave the shower, so it's soft, and that you remove the wax while it's soft. I know what I'm doing. I'm not an amateur.
It kind of sounds that you're
Wait, so
using Q-tips.
you're paid to Q-tip your ears now?
I don't know which part of the parking take is crazier.
See, I feel like it should have done better in this vote.
Well, I don't think people. I don't know.
No one died. Again, the key to winning this category is
And
someone
it's
died.
also environmentally
Hey,
strong because it would encourage
sanity
people to take the
died.
bus. It would encourage people to walk more and take the bus.
You would hate taking the bus.
Oh, I don't want to do it. But there are people for whom that would be an option.
I would feel like the people who take the bus, that is their option right now.
No, there's a lot of people I think who would take the bus if there were financial reasons to do so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If it takes you 3 times as long to get somewhere, you got to do it.
Look, people in Toronto are on those streetcars all the time.
Because transit actually works in Toronto.
Sometimes.
It's hard
I was
to
going to go
drive
off a
in
limb and
Toronto.
say there's more transit in Toronto than
There
in Nova
is.
Scotia.
There is.
Yeah,
Of course there is.
There most definitely is.
Of course there is.
Most reversed cursed of the year. This one's a Paul special coming up right off the top. Argentina.
Nah.
Tim said that Argentina was his most hated international team.
They are.
And he would be apoplectic if they won the 2022 FIFA World Cup.
So-
they did. So did Argentina get the boost because Italy didn't qualify and you couldn't pick against them?
I would have picked against Italy first, yes. I despise Italy.
A big win for Argentina.
Why do you hate Italy?
Because they're awful. You watch them play soccer, you do this, and it's like they've been shot with a shotgun, and they flop on the ground.
They don't want to play Croatia.
No, or the Serbs, or the Croatians. Yeah.
Who did Canada play? Did they play Croatia?
Yes,
played
that was
hard.
that. They played Croatia, and that game was
Yeah,
vicious.
because neither team wanted to dive.
Yeah, that game was vicious.
Number 2, Trevor Lawrence. On October 9th, Tim said, quote, Jags and Jets about to have the same record, and yet I was subjected to weeks of, quote, Lawrence is clearly so good, and he figured it out this year. And Zach is too busy being 2-0 for people to talk about him, I guess. Later in the season, Zach Wilson was benched for Mike White, and Trevor Lawrence had a PFF grade of 77.5 by the end of the calendar year and won a round in the playoffs.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't remember. Who'd he beat?
I don't know. It was a fun game.
It was so bad. Honestly, between how the Jays exited and how maybe I'm the curse.
That's okay.
work
When the
on
Maple
that.
Leafs win the Stanley Cup, Jeffrey, and you get to stand on Bay Street and watch the
Okay.
parade go by, it'll make all those feelings go away.
Hey, the Raptors parade was actually pretty fun.
No, then there was like a gunshot.
At the Raptors parade?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, there's like 3 million people there, wasn't there? Like half the city's turned up.
And it was like a logistical nightmare. Our city was not prepared
Would
for
the
anything
Raptors
like that.
parade be bigger than a Maple Leaf Stanley Cup parade? That
No.
can't possibly
I
be
would think
true.
that people would fly in from across
I feel
the
like that's
country.
true. It has
Like
to be.
lapsed Leafs fans from like across the nation would fly in. Fortunately, that's never going to happen, so it's good news, right?
They got a half decent chance this season.
Okay. Justin Fields. Tim guaranteed Justin Fields would not score the first touchdown in our very first ever Sunday Night Live show against the Green Bay Packers at 20-1, and he did, and I think that helped our ratings all year long for that show.
Do you know what he did the next week was the shoey with Mike Williams.
That's right.
So you got that show off with a rocket launch.
That show was a great show.
It was. Remember
That was
when
a
I
lot
gave
of
you the
fun.
mandible claw?
Yes, now I do.
my God.
I'd forgotten about that.
That was the week that the cameras broke. We had to use that webcam.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Tyreek Hill. Tim said that Tyreek Hill was old and washed, and his numbers would take a massive decline playing for the Miami Dolphins. He recorded the second most receiving yards in the league.
Yeah, he's great. He's the best receiver of all time.
Well, he wasn't even the best receiver this year. He had the second most
No,
receiving.
he obviously played really well this year.
Gary, and you're a Miami Dolphins fan. Do you like Tyreek Hill?
He's swell. Yes.
Wait till he
He's,
plays
he's
Sauce.
quite the player.
Wait till he plays Sauce week 2 or something, and he has like 2 catches for 3 yards.
I mean, he played Sauce twice this year.
And
so.
did not succeed against Sauce either time.
Yeah, who's playing quarterback in those games, Tim?
Your
You
beloved
can't
Tua.
probably can't even name him.
Well, actually, in the first game, it started with Teddy B, and then it became Skylar Thompson. And in the second game, I think it was it Skylar the whole way, or was it Teddy
Yeah.
and Skylar again?
No, it's Skyler the whole game.
Okay.
So they are. The Jets got to dodge Tua last year. No wonder their record was so good.
Yeah, they're great. Dolphins won one of those games. Like,
That's even sadder.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty lackluster category. Those are all the nominees.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of cursing this year.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Ask Angela Lansbury's estate about that.
Angela Lansbury sucked up a lot because we have some. I mean, we have worst take coming up, egregious claim, and these are competitive categories this year. Who do you think won this one? Most reverse cursed.
I mean, the fact that Pele pulled so well, it seemed like World Cup was very popular with the voting, and maybe that's when the voting came out. So I'm going to say Argentina. They won the World Cup. Tim called them dead. They won the biggest tournament in sports in the world.
Yeah.
Well, Argentina got 36% of the vote. Garion, they came in second in this category.
Oh. That would have been my guess, too. I mean, topped off by the fact that Paul made money. I kind of thought that was like the perfect storm.
Paul even doubled down on it after they lost to Saudi Arabia. Didn't you, Paul?
Yeah. he
Even
did.
though Tim didn't kill any people this year, I assure you,
He killed
that World
Lansbury.
Cup win killed my account at that sports book.
Oh, you can no longer bet at that
They
sports
won't let
book?
me bet at that sports book.
You limited Paul's account because he won too much money.
That's Paul's fault. He should have been going to
Apologize
various.
to me, Tim.
Yeah, you should have been picking and spread. You shouldn't have invested all your money in one bank and hope that the depositors are protected.
knew
You should have
I
been
couldn't
spreading
lose.
your money around.
Well, if you deposit all your money at one bank and then they default, the government will bail you out. You get all your money back.
Apparently, even though you're only supposed to be saved up to $250,000.
No, not fair.
Seems like not to get into that well, but seems like a really weird move to cancel, like to kick someone off your book because they won on such a preeminent event like the World Cup by picking one of the top 5 teams.
I'm sure it was. Put it this way: if it was Paul and I betting at the same account, and I won as much money as Paul did, they wouldn't limit me. They would increase my stakes.
Oh, yeah,
It's like, yeah, Pat will bleed that
Yeah.
back. Paul's actually Paul wins money.
Okay.
I don't win money.
Yep,
If
they
I
have the
win some
data.
sort of large sum, they're like, hey, have a few more bonuses to go along
You're the
with
person
it.
that they give the suite at the Aria to because you won the jackpot.
Exactly. It's like my cousin who lives in Labrador City. Very wealthy. He owns basically the entire town because they have the construction company. They have all the contracts up there. The casino here flies him down privately from Labrador City so he can gamble at the casino.
That is the life.
He comes and loses $100K and they fly him back.
That sounds like
and he has a
much-
great time.
That sounds like a lot of fun, other than the losing the 100K part.
Well, then you have to go back and live in Labrador City.
That's beautiful this time of year, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that in mid-March.
It's spring. It's April.
Okay, sorry. Early April in Labrador. What do you think it is right now in Labrador City, the temperature?
5-6 degrees.
That's what it is here.
This is a good time of year. I mean, it's getting a little too light out for my tastes, but it's okay.
It is currently minus 11.
Okay, but you know what? I like it when it's cold.
Yeah, it sounds fucking great, man.
I said to Tim, because I'm here visiting, I mentioned how lovely the weather was today, and it was like a look of disgust, if I complimented the Patriots or something. That's how he reacts to the nice spring.
I'd prefer it to be like minus 11 and cold. At dark at 4:45.
Has that take ever won a Custy, or is that just
no way.
too much of a year-to-year consistently bad take to win anything? That could be like a lifetime achievement, Custy. His just hatred of the sunshine and summer.
Artificial light is better than natural light. Sorry, it's just true.
Trevor Lawrence was the winner of most reverse curse.
Really?
41% of the vote.
Really?
I think it's because it was how strongly you went at him and how good Zach Wilson was. So it kind of works both ways on this one because by the end of the year, you said he couldn't even play in the XFL.
It's true, because you were on the Trevor Lawrence as a CFL guy. So people who are fans sort of use their puzzle pieces to maybe add a layer to that exact comment, and it's the totality of how great Trevor was, how he should be your quarterback, and you
also jumped way too hard onto the Chargers bandwagon in the playoffs, and the fact that it was Trevor Lawrence that then had that performance. Like I think, like Jeff's saying, there's maybe some more layers to that one than we were giving it credit for.
Yeah, I like Trevor Lawrence a lot.
He's fine.
Still?
Yeah, no, the Jags are such I mean, it's soul crushing. And I'm not really there yet in terms of being back, but I don't like.
Well, they did release that breakfast video
which is a lot to ask for them. So I was thankful.
Honestly, though, your QB has a higher ceiling than their QB has.
They're probably equal ceiling.
No, I don't agree. I think
I disagree. I think they're
best
pretty
case
equal
scenario,
ceilings.
Lawrence is fourth behind Mahomes and Burrow and Herbert.
Why do you like Herbert now?
In terms of their ceiling, their potential, the throws he makes are extraordinary. The game,
I'm not even excited. Don't get me excited.
I'm not trying to get you excited. I'm just saying Lawrence could play to 100% of his potential, and he can be no better than the fourth best quarterback in the AFC. And that's everything breaks right for him.
Wait. Those are the four best quarterbacks in the AFC.
In terms of their ceiling. In terms of their ceiling. Rodgers only got 1 year left in him. That's not the same thing.
He's Rodgers rated as the number 2 QB in football.
In the same way that I had Brady at like number 4 last year, but at the same time, he was only going to be around for a year or so.
But if you had Trevor Lawrence and then Joe Douglas continued to draft as he drafted, you guys would probably be the best team in the AFC.
Yes, they're almost the best team in the AFC now with Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if they had, you can look at like the next 3 or 4 years ahead, absolutely. He drafted the offensive and defensive rookies of the year.
He's good. The Jets are good.
They're going to take that 13th pick and they're going to parlay that into something absolutely tremendous, I'm sure. I'm excited. There should be reasons. They have an awesome QB who's a 4-time NFL MVP, a team that has the offensive rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, the running back who was going to win offensive rookie of the year coming back, the best cornerback in football, one of the premier pass rushers in the game in Quinnen Williams. This is a really, 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 really special team, and there are basically no losses on their schedule if they stay healthy.
And Vegas set it to 9.5, and you can make huge money betting like an alt over of 12.
They haven't made the playoffs in 12 years, and they have the 4th shortest odds in the AFC to make the Super Bowl.
Do you think they might be?
Would you say that they have a bomb squad at wide receiver?
Bomb squad
with Mecole Hardman?
Wait till they add OBJ. Just wait. He's coming. It seems like it looks like it's pretty inevitable. He's coming on board too. You have Wilson and Beckham, and oh my goodness, it's just Mecole Hardman is a lovely addition. That's a really, really, really.
What about top 10 Corey Davis? You're just throwing him to the side.
I think he's going to be gone.
But he's a top 10 receiver, according to you.
I thought he was going to be. He was drafted 4th overall by the Titans.
Yeah, there's never been anyone selected inside the top 5 in the NFL who's been bad. That's never happened before. Most egregious claim. Water slides. Tim claimed he could go down any water slide, no problem, in the world.
Well, yeah.
I don't know about
They're
that.
fit for human beings to jump down.
The Summit Plummet at Disney World's Blizzard Beach, which is a 120-foot water slide where guests reach speeds of 60 miles per hour, and they complete the ride in under 5 seconds. I don't think you could do that.
You mean I couldn't do it?
No,
Like
you wouldn't
gravity
do it.
somehow wouldn't
You are
affect
talking-
me?
Like you wouldn't do it.
But-
You'd be too chicken.
Oh, please.
You're
I
a
would
chicken.
do it.
You're like Michael Johnson when he pulled up lame against Donovan Bailey. He's a chicken. That's you.
But
Can I also say, like, this is this is a safe space. Aside from Pat, this is like a bigger guy podcast. I'm just gonna put it out there that some water slides in the world have weight restrictions, like 250 pounds kind of thing. Like
Some do.
I really think just physically you would not be able to go on every water slide in the world.
So that's a fair point. But I'm talking about, like, in general, I mean, if we remove the weight restrictions, no problem.
You said every water slide in the world.
Okay, so that's a very useful caveat, and I accept that caveat. So beyond the ones with which that I would be prohibited, because I'd be so good at from doing, and I think that's the reason. That's the reason there's the weight restriction, because you'd go too fast. You'd have too much momentum. You'd be too good at it. Like, being too good is like they don't have enough runway for you at the end of the slide to go through because you're that good at the slide.
Can we do shirts that say I'm not fat, I'm just too good at water slides?
Well, I mean, it's true, though. Like, that's the reason there are those restrictions. You're not going to be like Homer stuck in the tube. That's not what the restriction's for.
I've been to Disneyland. People there could get stuck in the tubes.
Well, sure, there are some people of genuine size, I'm sure, that are going around.
Would you say that is the largest place on Earth, Disney World? Like, if you could go to one
No,
event,
like Texas State Fair.
State fairs?
Yeah, like a state fair
Yeah.
would have to be
Or like the Walmart in Fort
hold on.
Worth.
I've been to Texas a whole bunch of times. You do see big people in Texas, but you also see, like, there's cowboys in Texas. Like, cowboys are big.
and shredded, like ripped,
like
physically.
Ohio is what the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd be
you go to
whoa.
like a Midwest Walmart, as Tim was saying. Like that would be fun too. Back to this
The
argument.
rascal versus non-rascal ratio is like 50-50.
I mean, you have to. This has to be correlated to the sense that Tim thinks he could do the space jump.
yes, anybody could. You could too.
So but it's that same thinking that says, yeah, I could just go on the water slide. Like the guy at the top of the water slide can say, go, and I'll go, and everything will be fine. Like, that is Tim's logic. Much like I could just fall out of a spacecraft in orbit and land safely.
It's not quite orbit.
I don't think you could get up. I think you'd be dead by the time you got to the atmosphere.
I don't agree.
I do.
I think I'd be fine.
I don't know if your heart can take it, pal.
Oh, please. It's enlarged.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it pumps extra hard. Completion. After a discussion about Carson Wentz, Tim claimed that if given 20 tries, he could complete an 8-yard out pass against NFL competition.
No.
No, unless I don't know why I said that. I don't agree with what I said. Unless they get
You're backtracking that one.
They had if they gave me like 5 steamboats, then maybe. But like they couldn't start rushing me for 5 seconds. And I guess that would be technically against NFL competition.
I didn't even hear about this.
I don't
one.
remember
Like,
this.
I feel like the Derrick Henry one got so much play.
I don't remember.
Or the I could tackle a wide receiver thing. Like, I didn't even.
And
this didn't even make my radar.
An
No.
8-yard out is also farther than 8
it's like a
yards.
24-yard pass.
Yeah.
Oh.
Upon review, I'm sure I said it. I don't agree with having said it.
Surveillance cameras. Tim says that he's on his best behavior in drive-thrus because he thinks that surveillance cameras are going to follow him. And
No,
monitor
it's that I
what
won't
he
throw
does.
ice out the window in the line of McDonald's because the surveillance camera will catch you and you can get ticketed for littering. They have your license plate number. They know who you are. Throwing ice out the window, as we confirmed with an RCMP officer, is littering. So you don't throw ice out the window. You don't litter it. You should be on your best behavior around cameras. Why is that like an outlandish thing? You think it should just be the purge when you're on camera? Is that your position?
Then what's your excuse when you come on this show and talk all this nonsense?
Well, I'm just speaking what I believe to be true.
Living your truth?
I don't know what's the like the ice being littering is
is
actually
littering.
less crazy than thinking that McDonald's is following him. That's just there, like if someone assaults the drive-thru lady.
I'm sure that's
or
what-
a theft
yes.
or something.
This always comes back to Tim thinking the employees at McDonald's are like the most devoted to their job of any workforce in the world.
I
Not just
would
a
be.
bunch of 17-year-olds trying to make some money between high school classes.
Well, to follow up on that one, fast food employee. Tim thinks he could easily handle being a fast food worker for an afternoon. I disagree.
For an afternoon.
I still disagree.
One day only sort of thing, yes.
You would be, as a main character, you would not handle being a fast food employee very. Imagine if you came to the window and you had to serve you.
Look, I can give
How
as good as I can
freaked
get.
out you would
I
be?
can give as good as I can get.
You're not supposed to do that when you're the employee.
Yeah, but if it's one day only.
So you'd be fired. So that
I
means
would
you
be
couldn't do
fired,
the job.
But I would speak my mind. If someone started getting aggressive with me over the box, I'm not going to just sit there and go, "Okay, sir."
So you wouldn't
Be
make it through your shift.
There's 16 other McDonald's in the city. Why don't you take your business elsewhere? Talk to me like that. If you're polite with
feel like
me,
there's
I'll be
another
polite with
issue
you.
here.
If you're polite with me, I'm polite with you.
What
Don't
is
be
the other
short with
issue,
me.
Garion?
If I'm the customer, I'm there to
just-
spend my
I've-
money.
I've thought in the past, when times were a little tough, I'm like, maybe I could deliver Uber Eats or something. And then I was like, no, I have to be honest with myself. I don't think I could have somebody else's like fast food in my front seat and have to drive it 20 minutes somewhere and not sneak a couple fries or something like that. Like, I don't think Tim could be working at the back of McD's and not be like eating fries as it was going along.
I think the people who work at somewhere like that are so used to the fries being
But you'd be
around.
only working for one day.
You're
This would
not.
be one day.
One day. That's fair. Okay. I think I would, if I was entrusted with that job, and I think it is a genuine job, it's a noble thing to be an employee at somewhere like that. It's good hard work. I would not be stealing from my employer or stealing from customers.
Well, the next one is McDonald's Monopoly. Tim claimed he could go a whole month without partaking in McDonald's Monopoly. He lasted 10 hours.
That partly, though, that's Jeff's fault. Because as soon as I said I wasn't going to do it for a month, he's like, look, man, you might as well go right away while they got the good stuff out there, because you can't last a month, and every day you wait is a day you'll regret having waited, so you might as well just go. Did you not say that, Jeff?
I said something along the lines of like, you're not going to last. I know you. So if you start too late, then you get this based on your complaints is they run out of the pieces.
Well, they do.
run
They front load the good stuff.
Yeah, so if you start in like a week.
Is that confirmed? Or you just think that?
No, that way the winners can get on TV. You got to have the winners
Do
early
they
enough
even
to get
put
them
the
on TV.
winners on TV?
I think they do.
I think they did like 25 years ago.
So your whole thing was, so I was looking out for you in that, so if you try to resist and you last a week or 5 days, then that's a
Yes,
Yeah.
you were right. So you're agreeing to what I just said, was that you encouraged me immediately to go so that I didn't waste the
Well, I
premium
thought I was
days.
helping you because I didn't think you'd last at all.
Well, I didn't.
The stock market. Tim said that owning a stock is very difficult and that most normal people could not figure out how to do it because you have to go down to the stock market to buy it. This was my favorite one of the year, by the way. I feel like it's very underrated that you have to go to the stock market to buy stocks.
You do. You do. You just digitally do it rather than.
But that's
in
not
person
what you
anymore.
said. You thought you had to physically go to
Well, I'm
the
sure
stock
some people
market.
still do go down to the stock market.
Tim claimed he
Why
could,
it's called the exchange. People literally exchanged stocks at the
Tim
stock
claimed
market.
he could tackle Derrick Henry if given 100 attempts to do so. This is like a Hall of Fame bad take.
No, see, you just dive. And I only need to get lucky one time out of 100. He's got to get lucky every time.
He doesn't have to get
You're
lucky.
done. Like after your fifth time, you're gassed. You're done.
Fifth time?
Your third failed dive, you getting up off the turf is not gonna.
But he tires too.
I don't think he tires at the
Not
same
at the
rate
same
as you.
rate.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just think out of 100 times, any able-bodied person could tackle any
You
able-bodied
think you
person.
could tackle Donald Trump?
Yes. Well, no, the Secret Service would prevent me from getting there.
No, I'm saying there's that great like meme that shows Trump is like the same height and weight as Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but I don't believe that. Just like that doctor who, graduated from the University of wherever, who said he was in perfect health.
He still has a ton of energy for like an 80-year-old.
He does have a lot of...
He has more energy than Sleepy Joe.
When you don't smoke a cigarette your whole life, you don't have a sip of alcohol your whole life, there have to be some positive physical aspects to that.
So, would you like to take a guess what the winner of this category was?
Well, it's obvious. It's obviously Derrick Henry.
Yeah, can we
but
guess
there-
what second place was?
Yeah, so 63% of the vote, Derrick Henry is the winner. When we do the Hall of Fame Custy show at the 10th annual Custies, I'm sure this one will continue to be mentioned because this was
I stand by it.
a hot button issue all year. And Tim is the only person who agrees with himself. Have you found anyone else who agrees with you?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember if somebody agreed with me or not. I feel like yes.
I feel like you would remember if one person other than you agreed
If
with
I put
you.
it to a poll, would it be 100 to 0?
I
No,
don't know,
'cause
because
people
people
like
just
to-
arbitrarily
yeah.
vote for you because they think it's funny.
Oh, of course. If someone supports me, they don't mean it. But if someone opposes me, because that I'm wrong.
It is that you're wrong, though.
Heads, I lose. Tails, you win.
Garion, do you think there are people out there that see one of Tim's stupid polls and vote the stupid way just because they think it's funny?
1000%. That there are people who understand how this show works. And credit to them for keeping the content machine going.
They're like, oh, if 2% of us can vote for Tim, then he can turn that into a win. And that's what people like to do.
Yeah,
for
no.
you.
Most people are not working on like 3D chess levels.
Yeah,
like
they
this.
are,
They just
Paul.
see the question and they think,
It's not that complicated. It's really not that complicated to see through this.
Tim, I ran a fake burner for like multiple years and then would like be like, "Great work, Top Cat. You're the best, Chief."
And you would allude to
and
that
you would
person agreeing
you
with
would retweet me all the time, thinking I was being serious.
Well, I like when people
other
say nice
people
things
do
to
that all the time. I see them in the comment
Look,
section.
I deal with a lot of nastiness on the internet, so on the odd occasion I run into something positive. I'm sorry for highlighting it.
What do you
be
think
okay?
came in second?
I don't even remember the categories again.
Not the
It's
water.
most egregious claim.
Maybe the 8-yard pass too could have been.
No, that didn't make the podium, Garion. The 8-yard pass.
I was gonna say that one didn't like. I really don't remember that one getting much traction.
No, I don't. Every now and then there are things in the vote that none of us seem to remember having been said.
Well, Rob puts it all together. Rob listens to every show and monitors your Twitter account, and when you appear on other shows, just to keep the Custies fresh. So I don't know where I don't remember it either.
I'm not disputing
Do you
having
think
said
Rob
it.
by like
No,
by
I'm-
like I don't know the 12th or 13th Custy Awards, like Rob will have just inhaled too much Cust content and he'll be most insane?
He'll be like Butters.
Yes, exactly.
Number 2 is McDonald's Monopoly with 12%
Oh yeah,
of the vote.
that makes sense.
Water slides was third.
Again, I'm really good at water slides. You would be good at water slides. It's a physics thing. People who are larger are good at water slides.
I just don't like when I lose the mat under me and I'm kind of going bare. On
Oh, I don't use mats.
No, but
When was
sometimes
the
they
last
give
time
you.
you were on a water slide?
I'm at a gym now where the pool has water slides.
Those are for kids.
They're for everybody.
Hold on a second.
They're for everybody.
Have you gone on it?
Yeah, of course. They're
It's
for
like
everybody.
a 7-foot water slide.
And no, it's bigger than that.
12.
Yeah, maybe even more. Like it actually goes outside the building.
We're
for a bit
talking
and comes
about
back in.
amusement park water slides.
I haven't been to an amusement park water slide in a while.
And
It's been
some
a
of them are like, they're a terror.
Yeah, well, but that's the whole point. Like, I find roller coasters fun. I find those things fun.
You go on the water slide at your gym?
It's there. Anyone can use
Are you
them.
offended that they call it a kid's water slide?
They
Is
don't
this a
call it
family meal
that. They
situation?
call it water slides.
So, like,
Did that not make... I'm looking through all of the awards. Apparently that didn't make... I guess Rob missed that one. I don't see that on here anywhere.
What?
The Dine for Two, or did that happen this year? Was that like the beginning of this year?
This happens all the time where they bleed together.
We're dying for
you're
two.
McDonald's.
Yeah, when you got triggered over Dine for Two because you just wanted to eat the dinner for
Okay,
two.
so-
Oh, well, that's nonsense.
Hold on, though. So let's just picture this. You wrap up your Aquafit
Gentle
class,
Aquafit.
and like you're eyeing that water slide during all of Aquafit, right?
Not all
Like,
of it, but you're allowed
can't
to
wait
go
for
on
this
it.
class to be over. Gonna go on the slide. It's gonna be great. And then do you grab some of the older ladies and go on the slide together? after?
No, that does not happen. They're often chatting with each other with flutter boards, doing laps back and forth.
You're going on the slide.
You had to cool down or whatever. Or swimming laps.
The pool doesn't cool you down?
You know what I mean? Well, if you're doing like exercise in the pool, you're not cold.
No, I got you.
I will say though, my mom does like the Aquafit classes. So my mom is 69.
Yeah.
I think the average age of the women in that class is
They are
like
older people.
182. And they're always complimenting her, like, "Oh, you're in such good shape, dearie," like all this kind of stuff. She comes out of those feeling great because
I come out of them feeling
by
great.
far the youngest and most like athletic person there. It's the only scenario in her life where she's like the best of the best.
If
So
you're-
I see why Tim maybe likes this.
If you're intimidated by the gym, and there's lots of people out there who are in bad shape, go to a place that has a pool, that has swimming classes and exercise classes. Your self-esteem will be through the roof. It's better exercise for you than 96% of stuff you're going to do with the gym if you do it correctly. And it's good, fun exercise. I couldn't encourage more for you to join a place with a pool and take advantage of the aquatics. I think it's a great idea. It's a great way to get fit and not have to overcome the necessary. For some people, the anxious barriers that come with seeing those big guys walk around with their gloves and their belts lifting the weights, or
I will tell you
the
that
people wearing their Tour de France outfits while they're going really fast on the bikes. You don't get any of that intimidation when you go to the pool. No one's dressed like Michael Phelps at your local pool.
but if they're dressed like Floyd Landis at the gym.
Some people are.
Your Lance Armstrong gear.
I have seen people literally get on the exercise bikes at the gym dressed like they're about to do the Tour de France.
That's amazing.
No, but it's like and you understand what I'm saying.
No,
For a
I
lot
get
of
what you're
people
saying,
who-
but I
they
will
don't go
tell
to the
you.
gym in park 'cause they're
You talk
intimidated.
to big workout guy, like our friend. Who
Yeah.
week one, CDG was on the show. Big workout guy. I think they will tell you gloves at the gym, real soft move.
Maybe, but they'll
Not,
also
not for the serious.
they'll
lifting.
also tell you if you say, "Well, I'm going to do swimming," they'll say, "Swimming's great. I can't do it, but it's great."
Well, they can't
But
do
I would
anything.
also say, like, if you're kind of like nervous to go to the gym, if you're a bigger person, like in my experience as a bigger person, I don't like pools because I have to take off my shirt.
Well,
So I don't know if, like, in terms of anxiety,
true.
that's like the best
you
idea
don't-
I've ever heard.
That's
in my
because you're
life.
great at swimming, Garion.
there are some people who do go to the pool, and I don't judge, who do not remove their shirt while they work out. They wear like those Under Armour shirts swimming. It's not for me,
a rough look.
but I
It's a rough
no.
look.
You know what? People are dealing with their own body image issues. I respect that. They're there trying to do something about it. God bless them.
What do you think is the bigger body image issue, Garion? T-shirt on in the pool or T-shirt on underneath basketball jersey in the NCAA tournament?
Ooh.
That's a look. That's a
I would even say, like, the only way I can wear a basketball jersey in public is like hoodie under basketball jersey, and that's you're really just admitting things to people with that move. It's like, I know what's going on here.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Shirt in the pool is tough because you think it's a good idea, but then the shirt
Wouldn't it get heavy?
sticks to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you need like
It
the
gets,
Under
it gets
Armour.
heavy
ones.
and
Really
it
light.
like
literally
floats
becomes
up.
like a form-fitting shirt. It just doesn't. It's worse.
That would be worse if it became form-fitting.
I agree, but you know, for some people, that barrier is what they need.
Is what they need. Okay.
Go join a gym that has a pool. Your life would be better for it.
In like the Californias, I feel like there's a lot of in shape people that wear like surfer shirts and stuff like
Usually
that.
they go surfing.
No,
but they're
Jeff's
not. They're
right.
like
just
swim.
walking
They're like
around
UV
Manhattan Beach with
they're
their
like
surfer shirts
UV
on all the time.
tops.
Usually they're going into the water.
Yeah, you're right. No,
they just do it to be seen.
And like no one is thinking, oh, that guy's afraid to show his like top when
No,
he
it's
ends up
usually
in
because
the water.
it has a practical issue.
Yeah,
They're
like
going into
No,
the
it's
ocean.
all
And
for
the ocean
show.
is very cold.
It's
by the
all
way.
Yeah, and it's good for suns, like UV rays. Some
Yeah.
of these shirts
Yeah.
and stuff, but
That's more of a practicality thing, I feel.
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No, I don't
It
agree.
helps though. No, man. Hey, when I was in Hawaii, I picked up one of those UV shirts and I was like, "This is great. I can wear this all the time. It's fantastic."
Worst take of the year. App updates. Tim has refused to update the apps on his phone or the operating software. This despite not updating apps or operating software being the leading cause of successful hacking attempts, which is the opposite of what you were doing. Elevator operators. Tim thinks that elevator operators should make a comeback as the standard for elevator navigation.
I agree.
Dumping ice. Tim claimed if you dump ice out of a cup, it is littering.
Yep.
Tim said milkshakes are the customary beverage to have as a side with certain meals in the year 2022. Not in 1953, 2022. Tom Hanks. Tim claimed that Big, Castaway, Forrest Gump, and The Green Mile are the only 4 good Tom Hanks movies ever made.
Did I say that?
You did. Tom Brady. Tim said that when he retires, that we will all remember Tom Brady as a Buccaneer,
Okay.
and it was delusional to think of him as a Patriot.
That was a troll. That was a complete and utter troll of Patriots fans to say that when I think of Tom Brady, people will always think of him as a Buccaneer. That wasn't meant sincerely in any way.
Okay.
That was a complete and utter troll.
Onion rings. Tim said that 99% of the time, onion rings were preferable to French fries.
I stand by that claim. That's true. That's a fact.
Narwhal from Elf. Tim said he wants Jon Favreau to make a movie about the narwhal from Elf.
That would be such a cool Christmas movie. Hey, buddy, I hope you find your dad, and you can like explore the Arctic Ocean with the narwhal. That would imagine what adventures he'd get into. And like the problems he'd have with that big one horn. Would he get caught somewhere? Would he have friends who I don't know. The
Man,
sky
I think
is the limit.
this is more of a prestige TV series. Tim's full of ideas. We got 8 hours of content here.
It's a great idea. That's a great character.
Dessert list. Tim ranked items such as Jell-O, tapioca pudding, McDonald's apple pie, and tiger tail ice cream atop his dessert rankings with blueberry pie and dead fucking last.
Oh, awful stuff. Awful stuff.
Holiday hours. Tim claimed employees enjoy working on the holidays
do.
because they get extra pay.
They do.
Now, I will reveal from you, although you haven't seen the show, that Bronstetter somewhat stood up for you in this one because he says that Jews would work on Christmas Day.
yeah, that's different though. That's different.
But it's still a
Yeah,
holiday.
I think
it's
Jeff
still a
brought
day
that
off.
up when we were talking about this later too.
Like you can, if you're not affected by the holiday, you just get to weasel out the double pay. Your boss is probably looking to you to work anyway because you're not celebrating it. that's different than the people who are missing family time or
I would agree.
a great opportunity or with friends and booze.
A lot of people choose this though. They want to work because they want the extra money.
No, a lot of people have to
have
work.
to.
Don't.
Some people have to.
The
but some
people
have to
the
work is
people
different than
with,
wanting to
with
work.
jobs have to work. The people with careers that like work in offices where there's like real advancement, none of those people have to work.
Oh, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's people like are high school students who like would rather go work a double shift at Droppers Drug Mart on Christmas Day because that's what they'd like to
so
do.
You've now picked like disinterested 16 and 17-year-old teenagers, maybe the one set of people who at that age hate their family enough that they would rather go make money. Yes, in that very, very small percentage of the population, you might be right.
I suspect anybody working at the McDonald's counter on Christmas Day has volunteered to do so.
No.
So they wanted to do it.
I live in such a multicultural city that the people who are working at the pizza shop or McDonald's on Christmas Day
Don't celebrate
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's my perception.
That day. Then they're happy to be working that
But that's not what that's not what you're saying though. You're saying the average person who would celebrate Christmas would want to
the
work
average
on Christmas.
person working on Christmas Day wants to be working on Christmas.
No, they
The
have.
average person who's choosing to do it wants to be doing it.
No, they need to
I
have.
would say in general, the average person working on a day, period, does not want to be working.
No, but that day you
on
get double
day.
the time and a half, right? Like it's not.
So what?
Well, for some people, that's a big deal.
Because
So what?
exactly.
That's a Jeff Too Rich claim.
No,
So
but
what?
that's exactly
that's
why.
exactly
This
the
is Tim Too
point.
Rich.
They need the extra money or want it.
To
Great.
park in your new system.
Yes, because I should have availability to park the 5 times a year I want to go downtown to park on a weeknight.
So everything
a
needs
weekday.
all the laws need to be catered towards you. Is
This
what you're saying.
one particular law would be convenient, and it would have all
Wouldn't it
kinds
just
of
be
spin-offs.
easier for you to email the city and tell them which 5 days you're going downtown?
No, but
and
like-
then they could,
No.
like
It would-
reserve you a parking spot.
There's all kinds of positive economic and environmental spin-offs from it too.
There
And you
is
care about that?
It doesn't matter whether I care about it. It
Tim,
matters what the consequences are.
somebody who needs the extra, like the half pay on juice on each hour. They're behind on. They got so much shit.
So what a blessing it is that they have this opportunity to get these extra dollars to work.
In that sense, they're not happy about it. though.
Okay, happy may be the wrong word then. They are perfectly contented to do so.
No, they're not. They're like, I have to
I
do
have
this.
to do this.
Okay, but I also I didn't have to. You elected to volunteer to work on
Because
this.
some
No,
people
'cause they
feel
wanna
like they're in
pay
the
for the
financial
Christ-
bind that they have to do it.
Well, but we live in a
But again,
world
this
that's
is like-
messy and complicated and tough. I get that.
Yeah, you're gonna work.
If your
You're
point
gonna-
is just that sometimes people get behind on the bills and they have to ask for extra shifts, yeah, that happens. But in an ideal world, it wouldn't be Christmas.
But for some people, they don't really care much about Christmas.
It's like it's people who they need that to pay for presents or to just make Christmas normal for their kids.
and so they are happy.
but then
to-
they're not there
they're not
on
happy
Christmas.
to do it. They would prefer to spend the Christmas with their kids.
It's the same like if you were at a job that's based on hourly rates and people are like happy to get extra hours. They don't want 16 hours this week. They're
Not
happy
when
to
they're
have 40
assigned
hours.
on Christmas.
They have 40 hours. They want the extra hours and they get
Look,
extra
Tim,
money.
Tim, I literally work a job where I'm paid hourly and have to work Christmas because sports happen on Christmas, and guess what? It sucks.
Yeah, only Gabe Morency wants this.
Yeah, Morency is pro working on Christmas.
Everyone
but he's
I've-
pro working every day of the
Also,
year.
Tim, have you ever worked on Christmas?
No.
Okay, cool. I have. Shut up.
I haven't. But I've encountered and dealt with many people who have been working on Christmas and they've been always been happy, pleasant.
Who
in a good
do you
mood.
know has worked on Christmas?
Like I encounter them in the purchases.
He's talking
that I
about the
make.
customer service representatives that have to be nice to
Talking
him.
about the people.
The people I call
You mean
at
the people that are
Samsung.
paid to be nice to
Like
you
the
are
people
nice
I
to you
call
on
at
Christmas
no,
Day?
the people that he says because after Christmas dinner at Grandma's, he stops through McDonald's.
Not just those people, the people I call at Samsung to help get my TV set up on Christmas morning when I can't figure it out. You
mean
call the number.
On doesn't work for you?
I don't know how to work it, so they help me through the process.
Paul has a comment here. Paul.
Did it ever cross your mind that maybe they're just nice to you because they're like, hey, it's Christmas. I don't want to be here, but I'm going to be nice to everybody that's here. And not that they're actually happy to be there.
Or maybe they feel bad for you that you're going to McDonald's
Yeah,
on
that-
Christmas Day.
When you go to
Oh, so more
McDonald's,
This guy's got it worse than me.
So they are judging. They're not
Yeah, this guy's got no
apathetic 16-year-olds out now.
when you are
They're
going to
judging me.
McDonald's at 8 p.m. on Christmas Day, they're like, man, feel bad for this guy. Like nobody They're not
Say
thinking,
it,
oh,
Jeff.
he didn't.
Say it. Say what you want to say.
No, they're
say
thinking
it again.
he didn't get invited
I might as
anywhere.
well get pancakes, shouldn't I? It's the same thing, isn't it? That's what you're trying to say.
Listen, if you think hotcakes at McDonald's are the best pancakes you've ever had,
And they
then
are.
I say no one who's ever loved you has made you pancakes.
Such a
That's
hot take.
that's my hot take. I don't even think it's hot.
Good deep cut.
No, it's impossible. But I'm just like, you are, even though you are just going because you're still hungry or you weren't full or whatever from Christmas dinner with family, they probably look at
I'm
someone.
eating less on purpose so that I have room saved to have that treat on the drive home.
It's so weird.
I'm not having that extra scoop of mashed potatoes so that way I can have a McDouble or something. Oh, I would never order a McDouble. That's stupid. I get
We're
double
only
cheeseburger.
halfway through this category. See, this is why we don't front load this one, Garion. This was a very good one this year.
Right.
The Weeknd. Tim claimed The Weeknd is the best modern musician.
I don't remember saying that, but I think that's probably true.
What was?
It seems like his least crazy take so far.
I know, but
guess.
I don't know if he could name a Weeknd song.
Blinded by the Light.
No, that's
What?
by ELO.
That's by.
No, he's right. That is a
Manfred
weekend
Mann.
song.
Isn't that by
no,
Manfred
it's
Mann?
by The Weeknd. Blinded by the Light. It's his big hit. I
Okay.
believe it's the #1 song of the year 2020.
COVID year?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I believe he opened the Super Bowl.
I can
with it.
confirm that is a weekend song. He
What
is
was
correct.
who was it that played the Super Bowl? Oh, fuck, was it?
Which one?
Oh, and Tim thought that Lamar Kendricks was playing the Super Bowl.
Oh, I thought it was the year that Maroon 5 played, and I was telling Tim Butts all these songs that I like from Maroon 5, and they were all Train songs. Because I didn't know the Train wasn't Maroon 5.
Also, if anyone ever runs into Gabe Morency in the street, ask him for all his train stories. They're quite good.
He has
Really?
train
He has
stories?
train
The train
stories?
would like sleep. Some pretty known, like well known, that are now famous musicians, like slept on Gabe's couch
In LA?
in the Montreal or LA.
No, I mean, Gabe probably opened for a lot of these bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's basically his train. I'll like paraphrase it, but it's essentially like he's
do
always
the
like,
impression?
you know,
Can you-
I've done some hard rock shows, all the heavy metal bands you could possibly think of. No one parties harder than Train.
That seems impossible.
Unrelated to Train, Gabe's told me some funny stories about like Brand Van 3000.
Oh man, they were drinking in LA. It was based on reality.
Can you imagine what it'd be like if you were like billeting the Gallagher brothers from Oasis and they just screamed at each other all night in your
I mean, I
apartment?
feel like Oasis, unless you got them very, very early on, had enough. They still have fuck you money.
Yeah,
And they don't even do anything.
They're the best.
They're not the best. They're not Dave Matthews.
They're better.
Oh,
I don't
Way-
think Dave
way
Matthews is the
better.
best. No, I don't like Oasis that much.
Veggie trays and fruit trays. Tim said he always brings a veggie tray when he goes to Christmas potlucks, and that everyone prefers store-bought veggie trays to homemade veggie trays.
I think that's indisputably true, that last sentence.
No, I think that people
This category
prefer.
is stacked.
I feel like people prefer homemade. It's just people are too lazy to make homemade veggie and fruit trays.
No, I don't agree with any of
I
that.
feel like there's a sheen on the melons that you get in fruit trays, be it honeydew or cantaloupe. They don't taste as fresh as like if I went and bought a cantaloupe and chopped it up myself, or if I went and got a veggie tray or a fruit tray and brought it. I feel like they're always hard, like they're not ripe enough, like they've been sitting there too long. That's why they're absolute dog shit.
Agreed.
No, I don't agree with any of that. Sometimes I'll just buy fruit trays for myself and eat them.
Have you ever just bought a cantaloupe to eat?
No, I've never
So
bought
you have nothing to.
We've had real cantaloupes.
Do you?
Yeah, I've had them when I was younger. My mom would cut them in half and scoop the seeds out, and like she gave me a half a cantaloupe for breakfast.
You put like
That's
Sugar?
fine. No,
You dip
no.
them in sugar?
They're already sweet enough. You just eat them with a spoon, like one of those spoons that you would eat a grapefruit with.
Like the
Yeah,
serrated
with those little,
edge
yeah,
ones?
it has little edges. Yeah. So you.
I'm
can
just saying
dig
that
into
fresh
it.
fruit is better than the fruit that you're going to buy in a fruit tray.
Well, but if it was cut that day, then it is fresh fruit.
It's not. I mean, I used to work in the produce section at a grocery store.
Well, I'm sure they're not. But you have
Not
to look
always
at date.
cut. Not always cut that.
You
day.
have to look at the date that it was packaged on.
Mm-hmm.
The date it was packaged on is key.
And you usually use the worst ones for those. You go around.
Maybe. You know what? I don't care. They're really good.
I'm just saying that the
mean-
fruit tray fruit is not as good as the fruit that you're going to cut up and make yourself.
there are definitely days I'll go to the store and it's like I don't want to cut up a watermelon today. I'll just pay $7.
Oh, watermelon's the
for pre-cut one.
worst to cut up. It's so watery and it gets everywhere, and it's such a cleanup job.
You think that would be in the name?
I know. Well, it is, but it's so much more convenient when it's all cut up for you.
Oatmeal. Tim has described oatmeal as, quote, fun.
It is.
And one of the best breakfasts one can have. He says that many nights he goes to bed the night before just for the purpose of having oatmeal in the morning. Has to get to bed early and finds it
I
hard to
bought
sleep.
this new Zero Cal chocolate sauce to add to my oatmeal. It is like a next level thing. Like literally, you want to go to bed so you can get up to have a bowl of oatmeal the next morning.
Why don't you just have some then?
Nah, it's too heavy at night.
So it's not
It's
that
a
good.
it's a good thing to have first thing in the morning, sort of like fills you up, and then like you get you fighting all day, and you're not hungry.
Before you head out to the fields.
Well, in some cases,
It's like how some people feel like taking a hit of Molly. Tim feels squirting the 0-cal chocolate on his oatmeal.
I can't empathize with that analogy, so I will have to laugh.
I can, but I think I would prefer the chocolate sauce in the.
Well, like all the
Tim was there; he had to peel me off the floor.
That was
I
a bad
believe you
scene.
just described it as next level.
It is next level.
Fun. Next level fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a blast, is what it is. And you make it yourself. You get to watch it go from like watery to thick really quickly, and like anyway. I think sure I'm a nerd, I'm a weirdo, whatever. I think it's fun.
Diet soda.
That's the first time he's admitted that he's not normal.
I know.
I think. And
Maybe we're having a
Well,
breakthrough.
everyone
over
has
Custies.
quirks, but I
it's
am
like an
normal.
open therapy session. Tim said that everyone would lose more weight if they had diet soda.
That's an objective fact. If you replace something that has calories with something that has 0 calories, you will lose weight. That's not an opinion. That's math.
How's it working for you?
It's actually working quite a bit. Thank you.
But I've always drank Diet Coke.
Sure, but I'm still drinking a lot of it.
Sure.
We have a friend who's a body. See, TDG was on this show, who is like one of the healthiest. Okay, I know what you're gonna say. He's one of the
You want
healthiest
to talk
people
about
we know.
enlarged organs?
He's one of the healthiest.
He is
people
not
we know.
one of the healthiest people
He's
you
one
know.
of the healthiest people we know.
He is not one of the healthiest people
And
you know.
he
He is the
swears-
least healthy person you know.
No, that's not true.
I mean, it's
No,
based on
he's-
what he has done to his body. He is one
He
of the
has
least
taken
healthy people
decisions
you have
that perhaps-
ever met in your entire life.
I don't agree. I think he's he's one of the healthiest people we know.
You're a doctor.
Well, not that type of doctor.
Clearly.
Anyway, he swears by it.
Of course he does. He's a maniac.
A lot of people swear by it. If you watch on
You
TikTok,
know who does?
there's a lot of weight loss.
I'm just gonna throw it out here. You know who swears by diet soda? Fat people.
There's also a lot of TikTok health gurus or whatever who will always say,
and you believe. So if someone is on TikTok and they call themselves a health guru,
There's enough of
and
them.
they agree with you, then they're like
they're
legit.
making a point about if you're filling
How do you
calories,
know they're health gurus? They could be some kid
they're
with a TikTok
they're
account.
in shape. They obviously know what they're talking about. They're in shape.
The guy you're talking about is in shape as well. Not healthy.
Yeah, I think he is healthy.
No, he's not healthy.
Okay. Well, this is not a productive conversation. 'Cause I'm just going to say he's healthy, and you're just going
Yeah,
to
but I can't say why he's not healthy on the show.
Anyway, I'm sticking up for him. I think he's fine.
Fine, okay. Soda cans. Tim said that people would be better served buying the King cans, which
Those
he
aren't
has
King
in
can-
front of
the-
him, and pouring out what they don't need instead of having the regular size can that Geoff has in front of him.
That can literally says mini written across of it. Literally.
That's a regular size 220 ml can.
Jeff and I were talking about this before we started the show. And what do the big cans at the top of 7-Eleven say, Jeff? What is written on the top of those cans?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. We had this exact conversation before the show began. What are those big cans at
No,
the
you were
7-Eleven say?
mentioning to me that you see them sometimes.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. How dare you?
Have you finished your King can yet?
It's not a King can. It is the King cans are like that. They're 700. They're like the 4 Loco cans.
Just calm down.
Well, but it's all lies.
Mozzarella sticks.
Oh, I stand by this 100%.
Tim says that mozzarella sticks are the best thing one can bring to a potluck. I also like that veggie trays are the best thing you can bring.
No.
And
What I always bring veggie trays to a potluck. Mozzarella sticks are the best things that one can bring to a potluck.
So why wouldn't you bring the best thing you could possibly bring?
Whatever. Do you always make filet mignon every night? No. Why? Why don't you always make the thing that's always best? Because you don't always do
I'm
that.
too busy paying for parking. I can't afford filet mignon.
All right. Yeah. Okay. And working on Christmas. And, I know.
strawberry
Wait,
pizza.
hold on. What is the reason to not bring the matzo sticks?
Because it is
Like
harder
filet
to bring
mignon is
them. 'Cause
more
it's harder to bring them.
expensive.
'Cause it's
Matzo
harder-
sticks from the grocery is $11.
It's harder to bring them. Because then you got to either do the cooking there or cook them in advance. Like there's a complication.
That's with everybody at the potluck.
There's a complication factor that veggie trays or fruit trays don't present.
So you want to do it as the least amount possible.
I'm
is what you're
looking to be
saying.
parsimonious in my approach.
You just would bring like the thing with like 12 chocolate chip cookies in it.
Tim's a big
And,
bring
like,
a bag of chips guy.
Yeah, what's wrong with chips? People love chips.
Well, it depends where you're going. I'm not against that, but if it's a potluck or people are doing something, then you got to go above and beyond.
Sometimes
with the
they just
chips.
ask me to bring the napkins.
That is true.
Oh my god.
Tim's that
I think
guy.
they're just asking you to bring the napkins because you brought cold mozzarella sticks the last time they invited you to a potluck.
Well, too bad.
And he wouldn't even bring the napkins. He'd be like, here are my serviettes.
Anyway, yes, I will bring like a big thing of serviettes from Costco.
Strawberry pizza. Tim has claimed that strawberries on pizza is a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Oh God.
I think it is a good
Like
idea.
a regular pizza or dessert pizza?
Regular pizzas are like pineapple. What's the real distinction between pineapple and strawberry? They're both like a sweet type of fruit.
No, they're not the same type of
They
sweet.
both are very fibrous. They both hold up really well.
I actually have two completely different tastes. I actually do like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go out of my
think
way to go
strawberry
get it,
pizza
but I
is a
don't
perfectly
mind
fine
it.
idea. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's-
There's lots of cultures where they add all kinds of fruits, like grapes and stuff like that, and pears and peaches to pizza.
You like those pizzas, do you?
Actually, I do. There's a place not far from me that does this pear pizza.
Oh, you like artisanal pizza now, do
it
you?
happens to be delicious.
Really?
It happens to be
What
really good.
IPA does it pair well with?
Hipster
Stop it.
Tim and his artisanal pizzas.
Do they make a good cheese at least?
They may. I've never had it. I've never had the cheese, but it's a thin crust, but I like the thin crust better.
Oh, really? This seems like a huge departure
has-
from previous takes I've heard from you.
It has chili oil, and it has arugula, and goat cheese, and pear.
Do the notes tell
Pear,
a story to your
arugula,
palate?
and goat
I
cheese
know.
on your pizza.
I
huh?
know, but it's good though. I'm not going to pretend like it isn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's good.
Then how come when we asked you
Is it
about
a Brooklyn?
this
It's not a Brooklyn pepperoni from Domino's. Like that's better.
Wait a second.
This thing is really
question.
Hold on, now
question.
I'm confused.
yeah, we're doing
Question,
mental press.
'cause
Gary, go ahead.
What?
Tim, I literally, not 2 weeks ago, was in Brooklyn eating a pepperoni pizza. Do you think you got the same level of enjoyment from your Domino's Brooklyn-style pepperoni pizza? Is this like a, you don't have to go to Italy because there's great Italian food in Canada take?
Yeah, I think so.
What would your experience tell you, Garion?
That he's pretty wrong.
There's still one more of these, by the way.
What's your vote?
Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh,
Tim said that everyone loved the movie Christmas with the Cranks.
great movie.
The movie has a 5% critic score
I
and
understand that.
39% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's impressive that 4 of these takes came from the same episode.
Our Christmas show?
Yeah.
Garion knows how to, derive various takes out of me, I guess.
Now, I just listed you off like 16 terrible takes. Would it shock you to know that there is a runaway winner of this category?
Yes, I don't know if there was any that was predominantly the
There's
best.
one that garnered 40% of the vote. Second place, 11.5% of the vote.
So we've been on this a while. This was the one with littering, right?
Yeah.
Near the top. Jeez, this one, that was a big debate. There were polls on that. That one,
I won.
that's got to be on that one's meddling for sure.
It is on the podium.
Yeah.
Dumping ice is on the podium.
I think people like working on holidays is such an egregiously awful take. It has to be on there.
It is also on the podium.
And then are we still in Derek? No, we've passed Derek.
Derrick
Sorry.
Henry was a runaway winner.
Yeah.
He ran over Tim, then he ran away with the award.
Can I also say that when you first introduced this category, I honestly thought you said worst cake, and I thought we were giving like a joke award to the cake that's sitting in Tim's freezer.
So I bet
think
you.
that's on this year's
So
ballot.
maybe matzo sticks comes in third.
No, matzo stick's not there. In third place,
The elevator attendant thing?
no, that would have been my pick, by the way, was the
It's
elevator.
super convenient to have someone push you have your hands full of groceries, and you got to put down the groceries on a dirty floor, the bag, and then push the button.
Wait,
and
was
pick
this
up
where
the
you said
bag.
you didn't like asking your neighbors?
No,
to
I
push the
also
button
don't
for
like
you?
asking people to push the button for me.
But you're asking them to push the
But
button.
that's
for
their
you.
job.
You think people are going to be like taken aback because you asked them to press 3?
No, but it's just like awkward. I don't want to.
How is
do
it
that.
awkward?
It's just
My
Also,
hands are
Tim,
full. Can you
Don't
press
they
3?
offer when your hands are full? They're not offering.
Some people do, some people don't.
Tim, would you tip the elevator guy every single time you take the elevator?
No, but you get a good tip at Christmas time.
What's a good tip?
Because he's working on Christmas.
What would you tip your elevator operator at Christmas time? How much money?
And it's every morning. You got to stare this guy down.
And evening.
Subway card.
You give him a sub for how much money?
Just $25.
Yeah, I get
You
25.
fucking! I give my garbage man more than that.
You got to double that up.
Double that up.
Maybe more. Yeah, I
I
don't know.
tip the fucking teachers at my kid's daycare like $100.
Yeah. Oh, my wife goes.
12 of
My
that.
wife
You
goes
tip
way
your
over.
teachers at
yeah,
daycare?
way overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should see.
They make tips?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas time. Yeah.
Got them like gifts.
That must only happen at daycare. Like you
Gift-
wouldn't be,
no,
doing,
school-
that at elementary school.
Nope, done. doing it.
You go and tip a grade 4 teacher?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
You give them a brown note?
Give them $100 to the mall. Yeah.
No
a gift card.
way.
Yeah. Done.
I had no idea you would tip.
You got to grease, Tim. You got to. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't, but you got to grease the
You
right
wanna-
wheels.
My kid goes to camp. What
I'm
do you
surprised
mean?
they're even allowed to get, like,
When I would go to
a
like
public school teacher. I'm surprised they're even allowed to get a $100 bill.
camp, you greasing that counselor on like Parents' Day or something.
Oh my goodness! I wouldn't think to do any of this.
Yeah,
it's not-
you'd be like Happy Gilmore when he put Grandma into Ben Stiller's old folks home, trying to give the guy $1 to take extra special care. That special lady over there.
Jeez, I had no idea you would tip your.
I like that you give your elevator operator that you would use 365
To find
days a
tips,
year
you wouldn't
a
get that. You
$20
wouldn't
Subway
get,
gift card.
You don't
at
think
Christmas.
people
Look at
get
this, the guy who
kids
tipped like his
teachers?
sandwich maker like $2.50 and thought it gave him the right to sit there till midnight.
midnight. I was there. I wasn't even there that long.
But you don't think parents get their kids teachers like Christmas presents?
Yes, presents, but
So
not
what do you
like
think that
money.
is?
Okay, there's a difference between getting them like a scarf and like
Why is
here's
there a difference?
$100 bill.
Maybe like a gift certificate or a
Yeah,
fancy
I
candle.
usually do
don't
Visa
know.
gift cards.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Starbucks.
When I was young, I never saw that. I saw like
Well, the
small,
kids,
remember that.
small little
kids
gifts.
don't see
The
it.
kids would give them small
No,
little gifts.
I vividly remember that. That was like at Christmas, you like gave your teacher a card and it had a gift card inside of it or something like that.
And then I remember because my sister was a great student. I was not, but she was older than me.
that's
and
why
the
you went.
teachers-
That's why you went to Western.
The teachers had, thank you. The teachers had her before me, and they think something's coming. And no,
they were waiting for that Fienberg card.
They had to double it
but
because you
they
were
also
such a
think like
troublemaker.
a good student is coming, and they're like, no, that wasn't coming either, though.
I mean, my kids aren't of school age, so I don't know how it works with tipping like public school teachers. But in daycare, like the ECHs, I think that's what they're called. They don't make very much money.
Oh no, fair enough. I'm not even objecting to tipping daycare. I just
And they take
didn't
care of my
re-
fucking kids.
I just didn't realize it was done.
Yeah, they literally
it
take
just didn't
care.
occur to me it was done.
They take care of my kids, so I don't have to.
No, I'm not against it. I just am surprised that it happened. That's all.
But you don't think parents are like happy to grease a bit for favorable? I don't even know if it gets you favorable treatment.
Oh, it does get you favorable.
Okay, sure, but
Which you know that feels kind of weird. You'd kind of want every kid treated equally,
Nope.
wouldn't you?
I want my treat. If I'm paying for my kids to go somewhere, I want my kids
I
treated
understand.
better.
I understand that as a parent why you'd want that, but like,
Well,
for
I'm the parent in this
for
situation.
for the system to work the best, shouldn't everybody get equal treatment?
Would you say
It
that the
says the
system
guy
works
who
well?
wants parking to be 18 times more expensive so he can park close.
Yeah, but
to 2
everybody
times
has to pay the
as
same
parking.
amount. Everyone has to pay the same amount. It's not like anyway. That's not quite the same thing.
In third place, with 10% of the vote for worst take, holiday hours, working on holidays.
The store may be open.
Worst take, second place, with 11.5% of the vote. Not updating your phone came in second place.
I hate doing that. It's so awkward.
With 40% of the vote, ice is littering takes the worst take, Custy home.
That's undeserved. Undeserved because throwing ice, we were told it was littering by the letter of the law.
no way.
Yeah, we did ask an RCMP agent. Cust was like hammering on about it. He was just like, would this be littering? And the guy was like, I guess technically yes. And then I asked him, do you think anyone's ever been ticketed for this? He's like, no. No one would ever do that.
That means I'm technically correct.
But it's still a bad take.
The best kind of correct.
Exactly. Technically.
Most Cust impression.
Oh boy.
Where are we at here? Yeah, I want you to do some of these impressions as we go along.
Sure.
Where are we at? Most Cust impression, number 1. Liam Neeson, known for his roles in Schindler's List. And Rob wrote down silence. I don't feel like that's number 2 on the Liam Neeson filmography.
No, number 2 is definitely
That scene from Life's Too Small?
yeah, life's too short.
Life's Too Short. I mean, it's probably taken at this point.
Or not Michael Collins. What's the movie that he's in?
Rob Roy?
Rob Roy. Sorry, yeah.
I feel like Taken was a bigger movie than Rob Roy.
Was it? Maybe
Yes.
you could be right. I'm not disputing it.
Let's hear your Liam Neeson.
I'd like to do some improvisational comedy.
John Wayne.
Hello, Pilgrim. It's time for another episode of this Western show. Although I did movies, not television shows.
John Goodman.
Hey there, I'm John Goodman. How are you today? I'm on the Roseanne show. They can't call it Roseanne anymore because I kicked her off. Now it's just the Barr family.
Nicolas Cage.
face off.
Clarence Davis, the actor who voiced Donald Duck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
How are you? I'm Donald Duck.
That's the same voice over and over.
No, it's not. Stop saying that. They're all
Also,
distinct.
if your go-to impression involves you saying the name of the person you're impersonating, it's a bad.
Well, I
fucking
had to there because there's both Donald and Huey and Dewey. There's multiple ones I have to differentiate between. Oh boy, that's Huey and Dewey and Louie. They all have the same voice. But Donald's up here like that.
These all sound like versions of your Lucille Ball.
No, they don't.
Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, gee, I'm Jimmy Stewart. Money's not in this bank. It's in that house. That house.
Donna Reed
Did I do a Donna
from
Reed?
It's a Wonderful Life and The Donna Reed Show.
I don't know how to do a Donna Reed
I don't even know who
impression.
that is.
She's,
so-
she's
Let me try. Can I do it?
yeah.
Hi, I'm Donna Reed. I was in the Donna Reed show.
not funny. Donna Reed is Jimmy Stewart's wife in It's a Wonderful Life.
Luke Edwards from Newsies and Little Big League.
I don't think I ever did that voice.
I mean, I don't know why they're on the list if you weren't doing these voices.
I have no I don't know how to do that voice.
Charlton Heston.
Out of my cold, dead hands will you cross the Dead Sea. He was on last night. I watched the Ten Commandments. It was on ABC. I watched it every Easter season. Let my people go, you apes. That's two movies put together
In one. Would you like to see that remake, The Ten Commandment of the Apes?
That would be ought to be better than any of the remakes of the Planet of the Apes that they did.
Franz.
I don't have a Franz impersonation. I look nothing like Franz. I have no similarity to Franz. That is not me. My chin does not sit at 5 o'clock. I do not have red hair. I don't have eyebrows that are too big for my body. That doesn't look anything like me. It's not funny. It doesn't look like me. It's not even a like. If you're gonna pick
Back to the
somebody,
grocery
pick someone
store.
that actually looks like me.
He just stole a pie from an old man. He's hiding in the grocery store
I didn't
house there.
steal a pie. The old man didn't ever picked it up. I picked it up first. It was my pie.
Your pie.
It was my pie.
Your pie.
If you go into somebody's basket and take it, then you've taken their pie.
Okay.
Which is essentially what he wanted to do to me. I diffused the situation.
I think that one's gonna win.
Do you think that he should
How
start?
did Luke Edwards come up?
I
I
don't know.
Do you think that Cust should start an OnlyFranz account?
I feel like that guy, after the lady says, and you just want a new candle every now and then, and he goes, hey! That's how I feel right now.
So most Cust impression winners. In third place, John Wayne with 13% of the
Howdy,
vote.
Pilgrim.
Liam Neeson with 20% of the vote.
That's a very good vote.
And with 70% of the vote, Franz.
Yeah.
Franz is the big winner.
Great.
It is the second highest vote getter of any of the Custy winners
Yeah,
this
very
year.
funny. Ha 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 ha. I look nothing like him.
I don't know. You kind of look like him.
Oh, I don't.
You do. Most Cust story. Speaking of what we just talked about, the old man in the store. During a visit to the grocery store, an old man near Tim remarked at how good a mincemeat pie looked. Seeing that there was only one remaining, Tim stole the mincemeat pie.
No, I didn't steal it, so it's
before
already
the
a
old
lie.
man could get it. After the old man expressed consternation, Tim hid in the grocery store and then left without buying the pie.
So much of that is true, but that's not quite the way it went down, as everybody knows. The pie wasn't his pie. It was just sitting on the table with the other pies, and I took it because I wanted a mincemeat pie.
Doesn't sound like you
But
didn't
he
even
was
leave
at
with
the
it.
table first. He was
Oh, so he
Perusing.
called dibs without anybody else knowing about it? Is that how
No,
that
he's-
works at the grocery store?
no, but
That's actually one of the plot lines in Christmas at the Cranks, where they have that Christmas ham, where she wants it, but the other lady got to it first. The thing is,
You're talking about this like everyone's seen this movie,
they
which they
have.
haven't.
They certainly have. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought.
the pie.
The pie. Yeah, the pie. So then the old man starts yelling at me about the pie. I diffuse the situation through conflict resolution and get out of there and then hide in an aisle till I feel like the coast is clear. And then I'm so disgusted with the circumstance, I don't even want the pie anymore.
So what did you do with the pie, by the way?
I just put
Did
it
you
on
just
a
leave
table.
it on a shelf?
Yeah, I just left it on a table somewhere or something.
For like the store employees to have to go put back.
Sure, whatever.
It's a perishable item. You
wouldn't.
can't just
No.
leave it anywhere.
It's not. No, it's not a perishable item the way like something that's frozen or like from the fridge section is. I wouldn't do that. That would be bad. But it's something that's just out at room temperature.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like
lay it
fresh
somewhere.
baked good.
Yeah, but it's left at room temperature. It's not the sort of thing that you have to go back in the frozen section or it'll spoil.
But by the time it gets back to where it's supposed
I
to go,
wasn't hiding it underneath like. It wasn't like
could have returned it back to the pie table.
I could have, but I was just so emotionally done at that moment. I just needed to go.
You poor little snowflake.
I was a snowflake, but like I didn't do anything wrong.
Stole the old man's pie.
No,
a
it
pie
wasn't-
you didn't even want.
If it was his pie, he would have had it in his cart. That's the thing. That's the important thing. If he had in any way picked it up, put it somewhere, grabbed, then he can have claim to ownership of it. But it was just sitting there on the table like every other pie. So I went and grabbed it because I'm allowed to do that because anybody is. And him turn around like a psycho and say, "Hey, that's mine." No, it's not. Basically, if it was yours, it would be in your basket.
Do you ever get recognized in public as Franz?
No, stop it. I will walk off this show.
Will you?
No, I will not.
Tim was awarded a medal for completing a half marathon some time ago.
God.
He now wears the medal around to various events, such as mall walks and grocery store trips, on the anniversary of the half marathon every single year.
Yes, I do that. I'm proud. It's like if you go to a university convocation. and
There's
that's not-
Franz getting limber for a mall walk there.
He should have his medal on.
It's like, people who go to a university convocation. If you're a grad of the university, people will often wear the regalia that day.
Just like a retired general will, if he's returning for some ceremony.
Yes!
He'll put on the things.
Well, uniform up, he'll medal
It's
up.
very much like if you touch Tim's headphones right now, he might punch you in the throat.
Go ahead. Have your fun. You know I'm right.
Waitress.
This could also be much worse, by the way, because like they'll also give you. I noticed the last Toronto marathon, they give you like the tinfoil like warm up blankets.
Oh, yeah, I
when
have
you
that
finish.
at home. I have that at home.
And they say like the name of the marathon on them. So Tim could also just be walking around with that one day.
Yeah, we don't even know if he actually did this or not. He could be walking around with stolen
No,
marathon.
we do know
backpacks.
it is. Remember, somebody actually went and found it online to verify my finish time and everything.
How long did it take you to run the half marathon?
Under 3 hours.
All right. That's. I mean,
It could have been like that guy who jumped in the taxi and just
You mean
finished.
Jeffrey?
Then
from
I would have
Fresh
finished a
Prince?
lot more quickly.
I don't know about
A
that.
lot more quickly.
You don't have Uber. You're not good at hailing cabs.
So then obviously I was legit.
Maybe. Or it did take you 3 hours in a cab because it took you so long to hail one. I don't know. Waitress. Tim regularly had a waitress hitting on him at our first dinner that we had back. Didn't even notice.
That's true.
Didn't even notice. Steps. Tim has been upset at his Rings app for bullying him for being more active. Tim has reported achieving around 700 steps a day. Tim also claims it's impossible to reach 10,000 steps a day.
It's difficult.
Well, what are you averaging now?
I'm averaging like 7,000 a day right now.
So 10 times as many as you were before.
That's correct.
So aren't you glad that your watch bullied you?
The Apple iPhone watch is the greatest thing that I've gotten. Because if you're not using a watch, your step counter is very imprecise, and I don't even think it can be that legit. You've got to have one of these, or your steps are sort of like, it's just a stab in the dark. This is accurate.
Well, your steps would only be counted if you had your phone on you at all times. If your
And
phone
even
was-
still, it's still not counting it as effectively something that's literally on your skin.
No, of course it's
literally-
not counting it as effectively because that's using your heart rate. When it comes to burning calories, the Apple Watch is going to be much, much better.
And deducing steps and everything. Like it's going to be a more
Also-
precise tool.
Sure.
Tim, is that on your dominant hand?
I always wear my watch on my left.
Is that your? Would you say that's your dominant hand though?
For some things, yes, I'm ambidextrous. I can do things with both hands.
So how do we know he's not just having like guilty step beats?
That's what I would theorize too. Just having beats all day, getting those steps up.
I think the watch is smart enough to know when you're actually taking a step.
I mean, how much do you really know about this watch?
I don't know a whole lot.
Pockets. Tim says he cannot stand having anything in his pockets and
Ugh.
refuses to use them.
The worst, having stuff in your pockets. The worst. Hate it. It's so uncomfortable. Nothing in these pockets. I could turn them out right now if you'd like. There's nothing in these pockets.
Trash. Tim leaves his trash everywhere in this studio and in the house.
Oh, that was true. I've been much better over the last
You
several months.
were for like 3 weeks, then you went back to
I
leaving
know
your
I've
shit
gotten
everywhere.
much better.
Tim has bemoaned the lack of Christmas cards he has received and wishes to receive more.
That'd be nice.
Kenny said that he wants to get your address so he can send you Christmas cards.
And I'd like to send him a Christmas card. That would be happy.
So what do we think is the winner here? I feel like there's two very strong candidates.
Pie has got to be on the podium. I would say Pie. Pie is like maybe my favorite Cust. It's become my favorite Cust story, I think.
Steps is number 3, is the bronze medalist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it comes down to the medal and the old man at the store.
Yeah.
Oh, the medal's so good too.
Think about how funny that medal thing was when he first told
I
us that.
actually will vote. I would give the award to the medal.
He hides from an old man though. Like the
Well,
story
because
is
it's
so
called
crazy already.
I'm
And even when
diffusing.
even when he fights the like how truthful the story is when Pat tells it, and then he tells it himself. In every telling he has, he still fully admits that he goes to another aisle and hides from this old man.
And like you peeked around the corner.
I most certainly did like this.
Okay, I'm kind of changing my.
Because I was trying to make sure that the old man was gone so that there wasn't like an altercation.
You thought this 85-year-old man was going to beat you up?
No, but I just didn't want to be screamed at and a scene made for no reason because he didn't get his pie. It wasn't his to begin with.
So why didn't you
I
return?
mean,
it
Tim
to
knows
him?
how athletic 85-year-old men can be. They're all in his alphabet class.
I did the right thing. I diffused the situation. I was the mature adult in there.
Sounds like it.
Even though I was like 50 years his junior, I was the mature person.
You couldn't have given him the pie? You didn't even want the pie.
Well, no, not when you talk to me like that. You don't get the pie.
Old man at the store, 35% of the vote, second place. With 40% of the vote, gold medalist Tim is your winner.
It's not a gold medal. It's a medal that everybody
participation
gets.
medal?
The winner to the last place person all gets the medal.
Time for Tim's favorite category.
Uh-oh.
Jeff's biggest
Oh,
rival.
I love this category.
So
It makes me so
maybe
happy.
as you go through them, like I'll acknowledge if I regret that or.
Number 1, Emmanuel Acho. Fox Sports commentator who identified Justin Herbert as, quote, a social media quarterback.
I believe at one point you recommended that he
did.
remove his appendage.
No, I did. When he started his shit, like when he's like first started that I'm going to pick this battle, I'm going to die on this hill, I suggested that he chop his dick off.
I kind of feel like that's hard to beat. When you tell someone to do that,
You're right. I never went there.
Starting strong.
yeah, yeah.
But then it got to the point where like I totally disengaged, and anytime he said something, not to me, but about Justin, like the carrier pigeons would come and notify and whatever. I mean, Justin's not perfect, but come on. It's pretty
I think it has to be said though. Jeff deserves like props on this one where he was right, at the very least.
Sure.
Like, he's on the right side of history on this.
Well, it got to
on
the
this
point
thing.
where even Garion, it got to like Tua is better than Justin Herbert. Like even guys like Garion are like, well, now you're setting Tua up to be
Yeah.
like now this is unfair to Tua again, and you're doing what you did before the draft, and this can't go well. So I appreciated sane views like Garion that like must have enjoyed and gotten a giggle out of the Acho bit and putting his player on a pedestal, but we're like, this is not going to end well. Like people know that.
But it literally became that. It was like, you know, Tua's having the best season of his career by far.
Which isn't
and then
much.
Acho's coming out and saying this stuff, and then he's having people like Mina Kimes have to come on TV and be like, no, here's again why Tua's not better than Justin Herbert. And it just made people continue to point out all of Tua's flaws over and over and over again, instead of just talking about what amazing season he was having. So yeah, it was detrimental to Tua, if anything.
LiveBots. Twitter
Those were
accounts
real.
paid for by the Saudi regime to prop up Live Golf. Or paid by Tim to prop up Live Golf. We're not sure. Because he has had that source of votes from last year's Custies. So are you paying the bots?
No.
To aggravate Jeff?
No, those were real. And you made low-hanging fruit live jokes, which were easy. They came at you. And I think it confirmed the fact that they didn't pay the bill on the bots for the second season. The bots are nowhere to be found.
Do you think that whoever paid the bots in the first place tried to pay them in $20 Subway gift cards?
I don't
Refused to do it?
I don't know, but the bots were probably one of the many year one charges
Yes.
that have been reined in, I guess, on that tour. But yeah, that was real. I have no doubt I was arguing with people on top of sweatshops in bot farms, and I could only hope they had a fan because it must have been boiling.
My goodness.
No, what do you mean? What do you think?
They're not real people. They're obviously bots.
Yeah, they're bots. They're not real people.
Yeah, they're not real people.
They're just
Unless
an
you're
algorithm
concerned-
typing
yeah,
something.
Unless you're concerned
I
about
mean,
the
those giant
server
servers, though,
overheating.
need fans. They need to stay cool, too.
Like, even I know they're not real people.
Paul?
For a guy who didn't rig the election last year, you seem to know a lot about bots there,
I
Top
know what
Cat.
the
Just
word
saying.
bot means.
You know nothing about technology, but you know how these bots
I know what
work.
the word bot means.
I
It's a
was
robot.
on a live bot farm list last year. I would, I'll give a, yeah, I swear on that.
I'm on whatever, like, the free, hey, rigged bets account. I'm on that list. Every time I tweet, there's just like, oh, want to win free bets? We rig games.
It's the worst,
I don't
right?
know who clicks on this shit.
We rig game. People are like, oh, free money.
Free money. I mean, our buddy Stoylove would do that.
Oh.
Oh, man. Rigged games, I'm in.
Yeah, got
how
inside
much,
track.
How much can I get down?
Yeah, got inside track on this Egyptian soccer game. Don't worry about it.
Alex Baker, a.k.a. Osimo. DFS, expert, def...
What did we do in 22? That's like 4 years old.
No, it's not.
something
It's from
happened?
last year's Honda Classic. For
Oh.
betting $2,000 on Daniel Berger at minus 370 odds. You got very upset.
It's the Honda Classic. It's like the most like insane weather wildcard penal, a minus. Like, there's no value there at the Honda Classic. He was condoning that to people. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not the event. The Masters, you could do that because guys don't come back at the Masters if that's what you want. The Honda Classic is the quintessential. I am not laying this minus 350 Sunday morning guy because becomes a shit show there.
Adam Shearer, sports podcaster who feuded with Jeff over finances. I don't remember this.
I remember that fight.
I don't really remember.
It's not the only Adam he fought with this year either.
No, Adam Levitan is also on the list. Jeff sympathized with Adam Levitan over getting accosted by random fans. Jeff then attacked Adam Levitan by accusing him of supporting NBA Top Shot.
I felt
Strongly, because you went back viciously.
Yeah, listen, I would have been drunk and it was Christmas. A couple Jews were going at it on the internet on Christmas, I think. There was just...
And another thing Jeff turned out to be right about, to be honest.
I
don't know that I'm right about this, but I do believe that a lot of people who were intensely propping it up that benefited greatly.
But Levitan wasn't the one propping it up. He was like anti-NFT.
Jeff had receipts though. Remember you were
No, but there were things. No, I don't want to go that far. And my DMs flooded with people showing me things contrary to that, but I don't want to engage there.
Because I don't remember it that way.
And I will also say I like Adam. He does great work. I regret that one.
How about his colleague, Rufus Peabody? You were upset for him not disclosing his injury strategy.
Oh, my God. Rufus is a really bright guy, but he's so pretentious in his shit that like even people that know him well, and I don't want to go deeper into that because I don't want dots being connected there, will acknowledge I'm right. This is a guy takes a dump, thinks it smells like roses. And I'm not saying, like, I'm just his proprietary info. He sells his things, but I'm holding back this thing. I don't even remember what it was. It was so stupid. It was worth making fun of him. And it was. I don't regret that.
It's a little nuanced. I'd prefer not to say.
Oh, yeah, that was his thing on something about Major. Someone asked a subscriber. This wasn't like on Twitter. This was in, I guess, his super...
Stir in the pot.
And people are like screenshotting you stuff of like chats that they're having?
No, that kind of got, not viral, but viral in the little golf Twitter. What do you think? Like, I don't even follow Rufus, where it was like someone asked him a fair question who pays for his service. And I thought you were like pranking me behind me.
No, I was not.
And someone asked him a fair question who pays for his service, and I get whatever Paul said was the reply, and I made fun of that. And I stand by making fun of that. Very bright guy.
Well, he didn't make the podium.
Oh, we're done?
We're done.
So the only one I really regret is Levitan.
Adam Shearer came in third with 10%.
You guys fought about. He was like,
What was that one?
he's like, you golf guys think you're so smart with the way you bet, and then you two just went back and forth. Paul probably
gonna
has
have-
the receipts
I'm
because
gonna
I'm
have
sure
to-
one of us sent it to Paul.
I'm going to pull it up like shortly.
I mean, that guy, though, is like the biggest troll in the DFS community. So I'm
That
not
guy-
even sure if he was doing it for any other reason, just to have a laugh.
Yeah, he was taking a run at golf Twitter or golf guys.
because I agree that I don't know. There's certain things I might agree with. It was something really stupid.
I can't remember all the
Paul
details.
might have
Paul
it.
remembers.
You generally bragged about how rich you were and like how he had to like.
No, but what was
You shamed him basically for being much poorer than you. You're like, I've
was
already
the initial-
experienced all of the things that you want. It was it was
he must
fucking
have said-
hilarious. It was
listen,
hilarious.
now we're in like the 4th inning. What was the first inning?
I forget exactly how it started.
See,
I
that's-
can dig
'cause
it
he
up.
must
It's in
have
one of
said
our group
something-
chats, but I
he
got my
must-
hands tied up right now.
Pardon?
Yeah, he's switching the cameras. Paul can't do the research and switch the
I'll
cameras.
see if I can find it.
No, it's in this group chat that I
We have
sent.
set up just for
in
Geoff's
the
rivals.
biggest Fienberg rival group chat.
Well, it's the Sunday Fun Day one where every single time
Yeah, I'm
Jeff does
looking
something
it up. I'm
crazy.
looking it
we
up.
tag
He said
each
something-
Garion's
other.
efforting it right now.
He
Yeah,
said
Garion's
something
on it.
pretty egregious, and then he came back at me, and I'm like, no, I don't do any of that for.
Well, that was only 10% of the vote. LiveBots garnered 15% of the vote. And with 62% of the vote, Emmanuel Acho joins luminaries such as Justin Rose and Darren Rovell as your biggest rival of the year.
And I think the Rose thing, I like Justin.
You're going to like
Rose.
Justin Rose because we're going to bet on him to win the Masters.
It's
People
a
are watching
much-
us after the Masters. Maybe he won.
Your antagonism towards him is far different than it was towards Rovell or.
Yeah, it was
towards
different. I just thought he was like a corny
Yes,
older
exactly.
guy using social media without realizing how corny.
Making sure
he
that
was.
his Father's Day photo.
Would
had
you say that he's
had
a social media golfer?
In many ways, yeah, he is.
like
but
that
I
pineapple shirt?
I
that he was
like-
on Instagram?
I like-
that pineapple shirt.
I love Rose and like the come up that guys that we saw Rose win and that hopefully like Ricky and Jason Day, like I love the come up that they've all had. I love it.
Rose will probably be on the Ryder Cup.
He's in.
Yeah,
I
he
don't even
probably
know how
has
he
to be
could
in
miss
this
it. He playing in the majors, like that'll.
I mean,
yeah.
he's pretty old, and Tim just said he's going to make the team, so he's probably going to be dead by the time the Ryder
Dude,
Cup comes.
Padraig might make that team. That's how weird that
Isn't
team
Padraig
could
the
be.
captain?
He was the
No,
captain
Luke Don.
last time.
Oh, yeah,
no,
Luke Donald's the
Stenson
captain.
was the
Now it's Luke
captain,
Donald,
and now
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
Luke
Padraig was
Donald.
captain last time.
So Acho is Fienberg's biggest rival.
Yeah, I mean, I told him he should chop his dick off. I don't think I topped that with any comment in terms of a rivalry.
I don't think so. I don't think you. Yeah, that's the high bar to cross.
Best Cust corner.
Oh, before we move on.
I don't want to even want it. Maybe
Yeah,
we just
I
move
do.
on. Maybe we just move. I mean,
It's really not even that important. It's funny how it started though, because it kind of bleeds into the other things. It's basically just he mentioned something about how he lost money betting PGA this week, but seeing live guys seeing live get more fans and seeing PGA guys lose their mind is worth losing the money, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like a live bot. So they
Maybe,
should be like
yeah, so
combined.
this is
He's
all
he's a
combined.
giant troll. He was clearly trolling.
All right, so listen, and I want to say, although I have my faults, I think I've been better. No, I'm not perfect. And you can get me, and I can be passionate and
you can get
sensitive at times. I can get got.
His Dark Passenger comes out.
But I'm telling you, I'm way better. But like again, what an embarrassing scene
So
to
that
be
employee tells you to
arguing.
put a mask on. And
What an embarrassing scene to be like arguing with Leviton on Christmas Day.
Paul?
Acho won though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Landslide.
Okay, because I was gonna say it took me so long to find that, just because that entire feed is just.
And
Acho
next year we
victories.
do Pizzola, and I don't look as bad. I promise.
That is true.
I
But Paul,
promise.
From bots to bats next year, I feel like, has anybody apologized to the bats?
Oh,
Big
yeah.
question. Jeff has.
Listen, it's like my Rumble account. Listen, you go
was
to
in
Florida,
Florida at the time.
You go to Florida for a few weeks, the sun just warps your brain, guys. I'm telling you, you're around these people that haven't stopped a beat.
Apologize to the bats.
That was really good.
you know what you did to him? You killed his timbers!
They haven't missed a beat. That was the line. Okay.
You good?
That was hilarious. I haven't missed a beat.
I can get got. I'm always looking to improve my behavior. Hopefully, my behavior this year. I don't even know what's on the docket. Oh yeah, you just showed, but
Bats.
whatever.
Battlestar
They got a
Galactica.
bad rap.
It's the people who disrespected the bats that are on the list.
Yeah, you're pro bats.
At least
I
Florida,
think the
Florida
bats
man
deserve
Jeff
an
feels
apology.
that way.
Okay. Who do you apologize to?
I don't know, Batman. Yeah, I guess.
Wuhan Joe,
Mr.
proprietor of the wet market. Best cuss corner.
The thing is, all these corners blend together.
Well, I'm going to give you a description. 36B, cooking, butlers, do you even lift, bro? Remember when that was a thing for you?
Oh, yeah.
Bluetooth, reality TV, and Cust's new coffee maker.
Yeah.
Along
That's
with
actually got to be really nice for Tim. Like he literally just gets to relive every like fad he had throughout the last 6 years.
Additionally, in 36B, what does it cost? That's a game we need to bring back.
Then
Ron
somebody-
Setter, Kenny, and I all agreed that what does it cost
But then
needs to come
somebody
back.
said at one point, that's just what the price of is right is about.
Yeah, but someone else should play what Tim picked it to cost. Like more
so,
prices right.
So like he gets to pick what it actually costs, but someone else gets to pick what they think Tim will guess that it costs.
Yeah, like
I like this game.
what does a can of baby formula cost? Like $50?
One can of baby formula
Yeah, that's
costs
just
like $50.
Well, there was a huge shortage of it, so I assume it's super pricey
$50.
Talking about like the black market price.
for formula, not
So-
for like
so
the
you
little
think-
jars of baby food. Like
So
the
you think
formula.
for like a jar of baby formula?
Yeah, it's like $50 for a thing, right?
For one meal for a baby costs $50.
It's bigger than one meal. Right?
So you're talking about a big
It's a
can.
banana,
like the
Michael. How
can
much
that
could
you
it
get.
cost?
Like if you went
Like
to
the bottle is like a
GNC,
single
it's
serve.
like, exactly,
a
that-
big, like,
exactly.
protein
Yeah,
shake.
With
exactly.
the big powder. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also buy them as like single serve
Oh,
bottles.
I'm sure you could, but yeah, I'm thinking about the big ones.
Also in that is parkour, golf courses, and victory
How
laps.
hard could parkour?
Do you
really
think
be?
babies get upset when they call those big Formula Ones family sized,
All
even
right.
though they want to
Look-
have it in one sitting?
Look, and it's not, just don't offend the consumer, okay?
No one's offended besides you, main character.
No, it's not just me. Just like don't upset the consumer. Just say
He was
it's-
going on the other day about the family meal at a truck stop diner and how that's going to offend people who go there on date nights.
Yeah, what if they want to bring the kids' meals home for lunch the next day? People are having a hard time. They want to bring that home with them.
Garion, listen, out of all of us here in the recent memory, you're doing great now, but I'm sure that there were times where you probably had to bring stuff home, you wanted to eat it the next day. Did you ever think about buying an extra chicken finger and fries to bring home to put in your fridge to eat the next day? Would that be like the worst thing you could do?
I think the only comparable thing I could make to that, and this wasn't even really that big a thing when I was like really struggling, was sometimes now on Uber Eats they'll give you like a buy one get one free, and I'll just do that and then put the thing in the fridge and like, hey, I've got lunch for my like
Wrong with that?
I do
2
that.
days from now.
Sure, but that's a buy one, get one free. Tim's talking about buying something else that's...
No. The family pack was 2 adult meals and
2 kids' meals.
child-size meals. Well, if you're out on a date night, maybe you and your wife want to get the 2 adult meals, and you want to just take the kids' meals home to have like as lunch the next day. But you would feel it's a family meal that's like kind of offensive to like, oh, I like they don't want me to do this. They would like. Would be
How do you feel
awkward.
about the places, Tim, where you're not allowed to order off the children's menu? unless you're a
I'm
child?
strongly against that.
Tim also hates the Sonora's menu as well.
No,
Hold
then
on.
you should exist.
Why should
but
you be allowed to order off the children's
because
menu?
everyone should be allowed to order everything off a menu.
No,
Why should
no.
there be
If you made a big
restrictions?
enough stink, they'd let you order your hot dog.
Yeah, you're right. They would.
I mean, I'm lucky. I take advantage of it
You
because I
order-
have
like, the
kids.
kids are
and, like,
having
they
it.
know,
You're
and
like-
I could just have it. I could just throw on an extra one of something, and
Everybody should be allowed to order everything that's on a menu. I have no idea whether it should
No,
be
because the
prohibitions
kids'
against-
meals at a lot of places are intentionally really cheap. Some places even like kids eat free. It's like get the parents out here, have them buy a drink and an entree, and we're happy to feed your
So
kids.
fair enough. So then Happy Meals, you should have to show your kid in the car before you can purchase a Happy Meal. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
No,
Anyone
places
can order a Happy Meal.
plenty places
And they should
like-
be allowed to.
But you
places
can.
like
I don't know what you're upset
McDonald's
about.
can let you places like McDonald's, and I've ordered Happy Meals for myself.
And you should be allowed to.
You are. I don't see what.
And I don't see
problem is.
how that logic that doesn't.
Another restaurant, like a real sit-down restaurant,
McDonald's
even
a sit-down restaurant.
Oh God, like a waiter to your.
Okay, fine.
I feel like so many of your problems would be solved if maybe you just like adopted like a 7-year-old kid and just brought them around with you everywhere.
Just
and then you'd get access to all these things.
If everyone can order a Happy Meal and no one objects to that, then there should be no issues with someone wanting to order off the kids' meal because like they ate earlier in the day and they're not super hungry. So they just want to have a
just
child's
get like
meal.
an appetizer, one of the smaller plates.
But maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want the chicken fingers and fries. And who the heck? What does a business care?
Also, I would say 90% of restaurants now there's adult chicken fingers and fries because we're just all in Arrested Development as a generation.
Great. Then like let everybody order whatever they want off the menu. Let's not have restrictions. It seems asinine.
I think it's hilarious. Because you should feel a bit ashamed for ordering off the kids'
Yeah,
menu.
you want to shame people.
I do.
I
But
feel
like a kid's menu, it comes with like a little sippy cup and like a cookie or like the smallest little scoop.
So then if you feel like you're insulted by ordering it, don't order it.
And you get like dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
Then don't order it if you don't want
And
to.
this has come from someone who's ordered a Happy Meal for themselves because it's just all I wanted and it hit the right notes and I could take that, even the toy, just goes home to
I
the
see.
kids,
I don't understand
but-
why you're anti like tapas meals then.
I don't really understand it very well. I don't like that style of eating.
But
Do you just not know what tapas means?
I do. I understand what
Okay.
Spanish eating is, but I just don't particularly care for that approach to eating.
But it
it's
sounds-
like dim sum too. I don't really like dim sum very much.
But you can pick and choose what you want.
I get why people love it. It just doesn't speak to me.
Okay. Cust Corner 38, Cust Moves, Service Industry, Sauce on Wings, The Beach, and Gym Extras, which is... It didn't even really come up, but that's when you thought there should be like javelin at your local gym.
There should be Olympic events that I can do at the event. Yes, there should be.
Cust Corner 36C, Umbrellas, Injuries, and AirPods. Cust Corner 39, Internet Money, Food, Work from Home, Travel Tips, Milkshakes, and Fountain Drinks. 36D, Marathons, Buffets, Participation Medals, Appetizers, and Streaming Services.
I feel like that one's going to win.
Cust Corner 40, The Christmas Movie Draft, Pockets, Christmas Songs, and Potluck.
That's a strong contender too.
A lot of nominees came from that one.
Yeah, it's true. The Christmas one did have a lot of nominees this year.
Garion, you do bring out the best. Cust Corner 40 came in third
Okay.
with 12% of the vote. 36B had 20% of the vote. And 36D had 42% of the vote.
Which one is that again?
I believe that was the participation medal. Yeah, marathons, buffets, participation medals, appetizers, and streaming.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was going to win.
Very quickly, Paul, people can go check out the Custy Awards for this, but the shout out to the Padded Rooms Twitter account, our guy for making all the amazing Photoshops this year.
Amazing photo.
So
That fellow.
we do have the best Photoshops of the year. Did you have a personal favorite?
The one with Jeff as Little Wayne. Or not Jeff, sorry,
Garion?
Garion as Little Wayne
was
was
great.
such a
that was
great...
pretty good.
The detail was perfect.
They even made the fingernails.
The
were
fingernails
like
were...
orange.
Yeah, it was... I think I have to vote for that.
I think my three favorite ones were me, you, and Kenny as the NWO.
That was good.
Me, you, and Raza as the crew of Spaceball
That
1.
was also great.
With Ben as Rick Moranis
Of course.
as Dark Helmet.
Of course.
Or the Omaha Steaks promo code. Instead of getting Tim wanting to give you a Subway gift card, and I said, give you Omaha Steaks.
Oh, yeah, it's that gif, not gif, sorry, it was that meme where he's like... Yeah.
The best Photoshop with 12.2% of the vote was the old man in the pie Photoshop, where you're hiding. The playoff machine Cust got 11% of the vote.
That was a good one.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a
Yeah.
good one,
And Kenny Kim throwing the wedding ring proposal back. 10% of the vote. I recommend that everyone go check these out. I even like the one where Tim is looking out at Garion, Paul, and Jeff celebrating that their teams made the playoffs.
Oh, that one was
yeah.
awful.
The SpongeBob meme
The
was
SpongeBob,
great.
and
Yeah.
the three of you are celebrating your playoff team, and I'm staring out the window.
There was a great one that'll be next year's with Cam and Pizzola. I think it was the Back to the Futures.
Oh, the one with Biff?
Yeah, that was incredible, I thought.
And Rob just looking up
Yeah.
over. You guys ready?
Yeah,
Garion?
let's do it.
Paul?
Yeah, I feel good. Now I'm a little nervous, so I guess that's just that moment before.
Most insane person of the year.
What percentage do you think you should have got?
I think I was less insane this year.
I
than
feel the
last
same
year.
way, though. I feel like I was a lot less insane
That's
this year.
something insane people would say.
No, I admit again. I this is annoying.
I told Tim this the other day that the path for him winning this award long term is to reframe the discussion. He's never going to not be the most insane, right? But you could be the biggest lunatic.
Okay, that's fair. But I look at it a few ways. I'm willing to admit, like, I'm insane. I'm not normal, which I think always makes me less insane than an insane person who forbids to admit anything about him is insane.
I'm the average
It's all
Joe.
on the exactly.
Do I have the odd quirk? Everybody does. But
Yeah.
I'm the average Joe.
And I like to say most of where I get got is like around sports or the Chargers, and I'm just real passionate about it. That is what it is. It sucks that I'm passionate about it. I wish I wasn't. I'm working on that. Tim is like, we can tie when it comes to football silliness, but outside of football, I can't even compete with
I
you.
was right
Well,
about the Cuomos, though.
You were right
You
about
were
the
right
Cuomo.
about-
I saw
That's
that
why you
coming
have
a
that
mile
book.
away.
You're right about the Cuomos.
Well, here's the thing. It was so close last year. Paul was essentially Ross Perot in this.
Yes, he was. He was the Ralph Nader, the Ross Perot. He, every vote for him was a vote against Geoff and for me, essentially.
So I guess, Garion, the question is, did Paul garner enough percentage of the vote, or did I garner enough percentage of the vote to affect the outcome this year?
I'm sort of curious as to, because I don't know about you guys, I feel like there was a lot less buildup this year.
There was,
And I'm
intentionally.
curious to see if that approach helps or hurts Tim. Because Tim campaigned so hard last year. I mean, we all remember the meme bot factories, but the outsourcing of, like, getting the memes and his utilization of the memes, I think it was helping him. I think he ran a pretty good campaign last year.
Even when you got injured, we put
so-
out the meme that says, "We want it from our campaign. Want to express our best wishes to you as you're on the mend."
yeah, and you even took like a sabbatical.
We suspended
and-
for the campaign, John McCain style.
So
for like 3
to
days.
Garion's point, I noticed that I actually have a 10-star idea, which I didn't even feel like executing because you didn't
so
campaign.
you-
Well,
didn't go
no,
to
I
Wisconsin.
decided this year that this basically a front porch campaign might be more effective by just staying quiet, and maybe people would forget about the things that you've been pushing, and the last thing on the ballot before the most insane was Jeff's biggest rival.
That was true.
And they'd see that and go, "Oh well, Jeff's the
But
crazy
there's
one."
9 categories for you.
Yeah, but
but
the one
you're-
right before it, if people just scroll down, because not everyone voted in every category.
Of course they didn't.
Everyone,
Okay.
everyone
Look,
who
I-
voted in the Custies voted in this
But
category.
thinking like getting into a regrettable Twitter argument on Christmas Day is far more, I think, relatable than thinking security cameras at fast food joints are like taking down your license and monitoring you for like pouring the coffee cup
This is the thing.
in the
Like,
garbage.
again, I don't think Tim is in the wrong for trying a different approach, because none of the approaches he's tried so far have worked. However, I think if you're just going to take a back seat and let people kind of be like, "Oh yeah, who is the most insane?" Their go-to answer is you. So I think last year's aggressive campaign to get people to vote for Geoff, that was probably more beneficial to you than you're going to realize.
And not to kick the can down the road farther, but I watched a show on your network this year where somebody claimed they picked something up off the floor they thought was a kernel of popcorn, put it in their mouth, and it ended up being like a piece that fell off a deodorant stick.
That was Cam.
Next
Yeah,
year, he
okay.
has to be included on the ballot.
But it's all people from this show.
Now, but we've had enough crossover now that Cam can be brought into the world. Cam's on
you
the show
still
as often
win.
as
Cam,
Gary's
Cam
on the
can
show.
have his own category, like Geoff has his
No,
own
I think
category.
Cam needs to be on the
No, I mean,
votes.
I think as someone who creates the awards,
I
like,
just
I
think
get to dictate what happens.
It's reasonable. It's for 1 year only. Let's put Cam on the ballot next year and just see what the voters do with it.
We'll see if that happens.
Or you could do like you could have people vote for a second, like, most tertiary insane character between Cam, Kenny, and Rob, and then whoever wins that vote gets to be on the ballot the year after that.
It's like relegation. Like you can.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Bowser.
You're in D2 and you get to put yourself up. So the most insane person nominees, Pat Mayo, has repeatedly banned users for bringing up Colin Morikawa blowing a lead during live shows. I was very upset.
He screamed at me all that whole show, and I didn't do anything. I didn't say a word
I was
about
ve-
it either.
I process my emotions differently
Okay.
when I lose big
There
bets
is-
and my guy has
You
a
had
beat.
just won a bigger bet.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't-
but you had just won a bigger
You
bet.
don't bet enough to know that doesn't
You had
matter.
just won a bigger
You
bet.
don't understand how betting works.
I understand.
You don't. You don't bet. You don't bet like
But you
I
didn't
bet.
show any gratitude for the big bet
I don't
you had
give a
just
shit
won.
about the other one.
That
I
you
wanted to
didn't
win them
deserve,
all.
but you didn't deserve to win.
I don't give a shit.
You actually ended
You know how
up...
many bets I lose when bets I'm set up to win
The way that day
don't
should
win.
have gone, you should have won the Morikawa
You
bet,
don't
lost the Bears
You don't
bet.
understand.
You came up
bet.
ahead.
This is part of the most insane.
You
This
went
is
out
very
ahead.
clear that you don't bet.
You came out ahead.
I didn't come out ahead because I lost $3,000.
But you should have won the Morikawa one and lost the Bears one, and therefore you would have
Who
been
cares?
behind.
I had
don't
already
agree
won the
with-
Bears one. That was already locked in.
No, but
and then I lost the Morikawa
No.
one. I had moved on
You
to the
would
next
not have
thing.
won the Bears one.
I don't.
I did
agree
win
with
the
you.
Bears one already.
When that day started, you finished ahead of where
It doesn't.
you
I don't give a shit about what happened when the day started. I had already won the Bears bet.
I think
that
that's
was
a-
in my
that's a
account, and then I
really-
lost the
That's
next
a
one.
really unhealthy way to look at
The only
things.
way to really get ahead, and I'm not even saying like we do it for
Is to
fun,
get ahead?
is to like have the double barreled days.
Well, obviously, you want
Listen,
to have-
I've won big bets before. It's easy to slip back a big bet. 2 big bets, it's a lot harder to slip it back.
It's just that's an unhealthy way to look at things.
You just don't bet enough.
It's just unhealthy.
You don't ride the waves.
I'm right.
Paul Shaughnessy has blamed his poor Fantasy Challenge performance on a conspiracy between MTV, Fantasizer.com, and Custy's purveyor Rob McIntyre instead of his own inadequacy.
Sounds like there's some personal
Rigged.
grievances being fought in the pages.
Well,
of this.
spoiler, Rob.
Pat,
spoiler,
did
spoiler,
you
Rob.
win?
I didn't win. No.
I just thought you had like 5 members. I think 5 members of your team were in the final, so I
They-
thought maybe you had a late push opportunity.
I think I came like third or something like that. I think Rob won again. Rob's won like 8 years in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty messed
But
up.
he doesn't look at spoilers, though. Not Rob.
No.
Tim Andercust has been known to wear a medal from a marathon in public and believes King Ralph to be a better received film than Guardians of the Galaxy.
King Ralph is such a good movie.
Geoff Fienberg has feuded with chalk monkeys over their preference for Tua versus Herbert, and Joe Lombardi for being a college buddy of Brandon Staley.
Yep.
In third place of the most insane, with 8.3% of the vote, is Paul Shaughnessy.
It's a lot of
It's
votes.
less than it was like Ross Perot 92 and 96. He went down quite a bit, but still enough to affect things. It happened again.
Garion, do you think that's enough to make a difference here?
I continually be shocked that like Pat doesn't get more insane votes. You're just on camera way more often than Paul. You would figure that like people would prefer to vote for you.
Yeah, but the only time they ever hear Paul is just Paul laughing in the background for the most part.
I guess
And I've
that's
got like
true.
a maniacal cackle. Like, it's pretty crazy.
The largest vote getter of any award this year, with 76% of the vote, Tim Andercust!
Tim Andercust.
You got more
Got a
insane.
campaign, bud.
Last year was close. You got a campaign.
Not even close.
What did Jeff get?
12% of the vote. Paul almost beat Jeff.
I went down like 25%. We were in a battle a year ago.
Well, okay.
You've lost huge ground.
Who didn't go to Wisconsin this year, Tim? Who didn't go to Wisconsin?
He didn't even go to the country.
States you carried convincingly a year ago, you got whitewashed.
It's true.
And
It's true. Okay.
Oh, there's
Wow.
gonna be so many memes next year. Like, oh,
If you like Stevie Nicks, it's a landslide.
Well, that will do it for the 6th annual Custies. It was amazing to have you in studio for this, Jeff. Garion, I promise you, if I still have a job this time next year, I'll fly you and Jeff down and we can all do it in studio.
We chatted. I think this is the first time that Jeff and I have ever recorded in the same room together.
Are you
no, that's
serious?
not true. Oh no. Oh yeah.
I
yeah,
wasn't
sorry.
like
Live together. We've never recorded together.
back in the day because I hadn't seen Tim many times.
The last time
we
I saw
were just
Jeff-
in a golf bubble. I don't think
The last time I saw Jeff was when I came to Toronto just before your first son was born. And the golf season wasn't going on, and we didn't do the football show then the way we were doing it now. We'd recorded it before I flew out. So actually, Jeff and I have never done a show in person before this show.
It's a little.
If things go bad for you, Jeff.
Is it like that Nixon and Elvis handshake photo in the White House? Where as soon as...
That blows my... I guess
from-
whenever you would come to record, you'd always record with me and Gary.
Exactly. So, like, from the moment that photo took place, both of their lives went in really bad directions. Anyway, that's a little...
I'm just checking in to see if Mel Brooks is still alive.
Anyway, it's a little piece of trivia for the fans.
I didn't even know that. Have you guys have met in person like twice then?
Yeah.
No, more than
And we
that.
talk for 3 hours a week?
I came to visit you at Fantasy like 4 or 5 times and saw Jeff every time.
I suppose
was there.
that's true.
Jeff would call me up before I would do a hit with Gabe, and he'd go, so, like, we plan to talk about college basketball and NCAA football, but, like, you know, this could go anywhere. Just be ready. And, like, Gabe would be like, did you see the debate last night? I would get, like, 6 words in. I was like, I'm glad Jeff prepped me, because we didn't talk about any of this stuff.
I want to thank everyone out there, all of you, for voting in the Custy Awards. I want to thank Tim for being a good sport, Jeff for being a little bit less of a good sport, but still a good sport anyway, Paul, Garion, Rob, the padded room memes for the Mayo Media Network. We should most definitely follow on Twitter. This has been the 6th Annual Custies. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!